Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Tuesday, May 26, 2026. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. We missed you yesterday. In case you were wondering, we were off yesterday. It was Memorial Day here in the United States. People like to say things like Happy Memorial Day. People like to talk about their plans. People like to talk about their fun. They even like to complain about the weather, lest we forget what Memorial Day is all about. And we tip our cap to all those who paid the ultimate price, all those families who suffer on a day like yesterday while others are out having fun. And I know that you can say that, hey, people, you know, they want you to be free and celebrate, and there is an element to that, but there's a lot of hurt and there's a lot of pain. And so I salute and tip my cap to everyone affected, to all those who fell defending this great country. And we hope that the families are hanging in as much as possible. These are tough days, tough memories, tough moments, and I send my love to all those who fought to defend this country and continue to fight to defend this country. So much love. It's great to be back, though. There was a lot that happened since we last spoke. In case you are wondering if I look different, why I look different, what's different. Yes, I do not have my glasses, my friends.
And where is his glasses? He can't see without his glasses.
Frank's been dying to play that for the past, 45 minutes since we realized that I left my glasses at home. And allow me to explain why I left my glasses at home. I left my glasses at home because last night at around 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, I was watching a basketball game, and it became clear around midway through the fourth quarter that this game was over and that something special was about to happen and that I was going to witness something that I had not witnessed in 27 years. And so I ran upstairs and I got my glasses because I wanted to see it. I wanted to feel it. And it was a feeling that, quite frankly, as an adult, I have never felt, because those who know me well, those who have been on this ride with me since 2009, since we started this show in this building, on this floor, somewhere in the vicinity of this floor, not this exact studio, but you know the story by now about how we came full circle, so to speak. Those who have been with me know how much I adore the New York Knicks. And you know that there have been two teams that have been, on my for all this time. And you know how the story always ends. And so I sit here today. You know, there's been these Mondays, these Tuesdays, these Thursdays, the heartbreak, me feeling down, me wanting to cry, me all this stuff. I just want to see one. I don't want to care. I just want to see one. Just one, and then I'll die in peace. And so I sit here today on May 26th of the year 2026, staring at this, the New York Daily News, on to the finals. No doubt. Staring at this, the New York Post, party like it's 1999. The last time the Knicks made the finals, I was in 11th grade, 16 years old. Finally, staring at this and not believing that this is a reality, not believing that the Knicks are 4 games away from actually finally doing it for the first time since 1973. I've never witnessed it. I've never witnessed any of my teams win anything, and they may never get a better chance than this. I need to figure out a way to go at least to one of these games, but it was very, very special being there, watching with my kids, my spoiled kids who don't quite realize how bleak it was, how bad it was, how depressing it was, how damn crappy the Knicks were for about, the 2001 to 2012, they didn't win a single playoff game. I remember bringing my son home, who's now 14, in 2012, May, I think we brought him home May 1st, 2012. They were playing the Heat in the playoffs. They were down 3-0 on a Sunday afternoon. They beat the Heat to go down 3-1. That was the only game they won, but it was their first playoff win in about 10 years, if not exactly 10 years, and confetti came down. That's how desperate we were, not for playoff series wins, for playoff wins, games. And then we had the nice run in 2013. It ends on a Saturday night. Roy Hibbert blocks Melo at the rim. And then we suck again. And then there's a year in 2015, 17-65. And we can rifle off all the names. It was awful. And so to see this, to see them celebrating, to see them 4 wins away, and not just winning, but doing so with this kind of dominance, historical dominance. This is the greatest 11-game stretch, not only in NBA playoff history, but in NBA history. Plus, I think 262-point differential. It's absurd. They are killing teams. And so when I see this with the trophy, and it all started with the NBA Cup, I told you, a mentality was born. I don't know what to make of it. And then what broke me, 2 things broke me last night. And I'm not going to go on and on about this. I know you're here to talk about fighting, I promise. But I hope to some degree you have been on this journey with me, with us. When I saw those 2 guys, when I saw Clyde and Patrick being my favorite athlete of all time, whoever decided to do this, the passing of the torch from Clyde to Patrick to Jalen, that broke me. And prior to that, I mean, look at that. That smile, man. I can't get enough. Prior to that, hearing Mike Breen say, for the first time in 27 years, the Knicks are going to the finals. Mike Breen, who has suffered through so many bad Knicks games as the voice of the New York Knicks, of course, the voice of the NBA as well. True mensch, all-time mensch. So hard. Look at Jalen. I've said this on the show before. I said that Jalen Brunson is going to hold that trophy. And that's not the one that I want. And that's not the one that he wants. And I love the way they celebrated, by the way. Muted celebration, not over the top, job's not finished. It was perfect. There was no beer, there was no champagne, none of that nonsense. They are out to win it all. I felt it when he signed with the Knicks. I have the tweet from back then, steal the cinch, I said. And everyone gave me crap. Jalen Brunson, 6'1", the saddest sweepstakes in sports history. No, that guy's a winner. 2-time national champion. Josh Hart won once. Mikal Bridges won twice. Every single move that they've made, from Jalen to OG to Cat to Mikal to Tibbs firing to Mike Brown, it's just been unbelievable. I'm riding high, guys. I am riding high, and I tell you, I'm happy this series is over because my dear friend New York Rick has been suffering, and I know deep down he loves the Knicks because he's New York freaking Rick. I know deep down, and so now we can shed that bad weight, and he can now join. I know you like the Knicks because there's more Knicks fans in your life than Cavs fans.
That is true.
You're happy for your city, for your state, for your team, your closet team. I know you're happy for us. And so
all of those things are true except for the team part. Love my friends. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for the city. I was at Penn Station yesterday coming home. Not a Knicks fan. Good luck.
Don't give me good luck.
Good luck.
Join us. Come on. GG.
No.
Come on. By the way, roll the tape. 2016, I was rooting for you. 2016, I said I was happy for you.
I'm happy for you as well.
I didn't give you a passive good luck. I gave you, I'm here with you. Front lines, rooting for your guys.
That's easy, though, because your team wasn't in it.
I hated those guys. I was salty about J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert.
Good luck.
What is that? Is that a Knicks jersey there? That's an AEW jersey.
Yeah.
No, that's a
shout out
T-shirt.
Owen Up.
I can't see shit.
You really can't see shit. I forgot to put this on before the show. I was like,
oh God, we have so much to talk about.
$60 T-shirt.
Is that Knicks colors?
It is, yeah.
Oh my God. What does it say? Oh, Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
There were Knicks chants in the arena at AEW.
Guys, I got to be honest. I can't think about anything else. There's nothing you could do or say to me. Like, I don't care what anyone says to me, does, that could ruin my mood right now.
This is sports
It's a magical
nirvana.
feeling. It's
I'm
a magical
too
feeling.
hungover to deal with these people tonight.
Guys,
team's here.
I feel hungover. I feel, you know that mix of like euphoria?
Well, the drinks didn't help, obviously.
I didn't have shit.
The 15 champagnes definitely didn't help.
Bro, you know when you're like super tired but also happy?
Oh, yeah.
That is like the ultimate high. I feel, I can't even see shit. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm like, it's very hard to process, but the job's not finished, guys. All bets are off if in 2 weeks we actually do pull this off. Like, the job's not finished. We got to go to OKC or San Antonio, and we want San Antonio.
Who's we?
We want San. I say we all fucking go. I'll pay for everyone.
Oh, okay.
so
All right,
great.
we're in.
Riverwalk.
We're in. I am a Knicks fan now.
I love the idea of you driving into work. I know you said you don't need them, but just like every other car is just blurry as hell, and you're just like, "How about those Knicks, baby?"
Sports radio on, talking.
I had to say, part of the problem was I had to take my kids to school today. Usually I don't on show days, but my wife's out of town, and so we were listening to everything, and they're like, "Okay, no, it's not okay. We are listening to everything, every breakdown. They move on to a different topic. We're changing the channel. I'm going from here to there. Podcast,
Local sports radio.
Dad, it's green.
WFAN.
Oh, it's nothing better.
ESPN Radio 1050, Come See, Come Sa. Went to Sirius XM to listen to Frank Isola, the hater. My son actually hit me.
Shots at Frank, huh?
My son hit me with a good one. I'm like, oh, listen to Frank. Listen to Frank. He hates the Knicks. He won't give them any credit. And he goes, don't people say you hate Dana White? And I'm like, oh, man, you've been on the internet too much.
Damn.
12-year-old.
Great point.
Oh, this isn't even the one with the phone.
What's the deal with Frank? It's like he said something like, talk to me when they win 10 games or something.
Well, Frank is the number one Tibbs lover.
But what's the one that keeps circulating now?
Yeah. He said, when you guys win 12 games, give me a call.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Okay, I almost went 12 in a row.
This is nuts, guys. Guys, it's nuts. It's not even like we're squeaking by. Oh, by the way, since we last spoke, I went to game 3, which feels like an eternity ago. And that was just one big party. It was never in doubt. I don't know what to do. I just want to warn everyone.
Jesus, was that game 3 or was
No,
that
it was 2. Because 3 was
I think it was
Oh,
game
yeah, it was game
2.
2. It was game 2 because we had home court. That's right. That was Thursday. Correct. The game after the freaking comeback. I don't know how the chips are going to fall, but if we, big if, I'm not overlooking, but if we win post, like the day after, the show the next day is going to be a mess.
There will be no show.
I'm just going to.
Yeah,
You're trying to do the math on
You're
what
gone.
day that could be.
There ain't no way.
Mid-teens?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, should we talk about other things?
No.
But we're cool, right? It's weird that I've beaten both of your teams in this run.
Yeah, you left us both in your way.
Yeah.
It's really weird that the Hawks perform the best out of anyone.
Dubs, yeah, I know. Everything changed after that game 3 loss.
Crazy.
Shout out Mike Brown, former Cavs coach.
Bro, the guy, the man, the freaking man. Did I text him congratulations? Maybe. Like that. Am I text buddies with the Knicks head coach?
Did he respond? What did he say?
Did he text back?
Of course he responded. He's a fucking man.
Sorry, man. I don't really give a fuck about the Knicks. Did you see Rico get robbed on Saturday? Hell yeah, coach.
Okay. I promise, because I respect the fact that there's probably 99.9% of you out there that do not care about this. I'm not trying to like overlook that, but please just be happy for me, okay? That's all I ask. And not just me, every single fan out there, and even, Patrick. It's Patrick's face. That one shot of Patrick standing next to the bench killed me. It broke me. Today's going to be a great day. We have a lot to discuss. We have to keep it on target. What am I trying to say, guys? What am I trying to say? Rico Verhoeven got robbed. Rico Verhoeven, in the dead of night in Egypt, got robbed. And we're going to talk to him on today's program about that. We're going to talk to Hamzah Sheeraz, who also won on that card as well. Peter Fury, the head coach for Rico Verhoeven, is going to join us. And Ben Shalom has a big show. And yes, it's a lot of boxing talk on today's show. Yeah, guess what? There was no MMA really of note, and the only MMA that happened to happen this past weekend of note happened at the Apex, yes, but it was trash. It was absolute trash. And the audacity of these people to tell us that what transpired at the Intuit Dome 9 or so days ago set the sport back, and now the home of the UFC is putting on absolute dog shit trash and then telling us afterwards, oh, it's great. It's, it's authentic. It's not manufactured. And then you've got Dana White and Hunter Campbell up there be like, this is so great. This is so great. It was like, whoa, what was that? Was that like bum fights? What was that? That was not even influencer fights. At least in the influencer fights, they show up like somewhat, ripped, probably juiced up, but they've got abs. This was trash. And it was happening at the place where UFC fighters fight? What? So what do you want me to talk about? You want me to talk about that? You want me to have Johnny Manziel on the program to talk about his fight against Bob Menery? All of a sudden, who the fuck is Bob Menery? Like, what is his claim to fame? Why do I keep hearing about this guy? Why do I care about this guy? I don't know. I know who Lance Stevenson is and Beasley. I know who those guys are. It was trash.
And Ray J. Shout out Ray J.
Ray J.
I do want to just add a nice name
trash
for the resume for Patrick Habirora as well this week, over the week.
Yeah, that was. He's going to be on the show tomorrow.
Shout out to him.
By the way, did that set the sport back? Where are the takes on that
He
one?
was a minus 2,000. He should have been a minus 10,000.
How dare
that
you.
was lamb to slaughter.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I was never really into that fight to begin with. Truly, like, it didn't do anything for me because my take was on that particular fight, Habirora is going to sell out that place regardless of who the B side is. So why do you have to sacrifice Benson Henderson? You know what I mean?
But isn't this a tale as old as time in MMA? Like, I'm going the other way, which is this is not bad for the sport and never was bad for the sport.
Oh, it's fine.
I don't have any issue with this fight. I don't have any issue with this fight the same way I had no issue with Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. Like, sometimes
This
it's
is different
just a
than that one,
squash
in
match.
my opinion, because this is a knockout and it's a little bit harder to
that's one of the
stomach. But yes, this is the fight game. The fight game is a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
First you're the killer, then you're killed, and on it goes. I just think it was a
He can
mismatch.
fight a tougher opponent, no problem. No doubt it could happen, and he's probably going to knock him out too. But Benson Henderson is a better name to have on his
But
resume,
here's
and
the
this
question.
is how MMA goes.
Do you think any differently about Patrick Habirora today than you did last week?
I didn't learn a single
what did
thing
it
about
do?
him.
Did it sell an extra ticket?
Yes.
Maybe.
Wait, you're saying Benson's name?
You think Benson Henderson
No.
sold tickets in Brussels?
He was going to sell no matter what. It was all
Exactly.
about Patrick, but it did a sold-out event, and they didn't have to take any risk. This is a no-risk fight. He was always going to beat Benson Henderson easy, and that's what they got.
There are times where it's like, hey, beating this guy, this veteran who's on the downside, elevates you. I don't think this matchup elevated him when it was made, and I don't think the matchup elevated him in the aftermath. To be clear, I wasn't upset about it. I'm not going to do the revisionist history thing and be like, oh, I was offended by it when I didn't say that beforehand. You have to keep that same energy. I'm just saying,
it didn't need to happen. You're 100% right. There was no reason.
and when
other
they
than
told us
to
about it,
sell the
remember, he
tickets.
broke it on the show. When he told us about it, I was like, oh, this feels like a very Bellator matchup. You know what I mean? It felt like a very...
This is MMA. I got no issue with it.
It's the fight game, really.
It's the fight game. Yeah, I mean, it's boxing too, but more to recent history, it's been the sport of MMA. You make your name on these guys. Benson Henderson goes out on his back, and Patrick Habirora goes over. This is just how this goes. I got no issue with it.
What a weekend for sports. Congratulations to all the Spurs fans out there. On air Jordan, Mr. Carroll in attendance with PT. PT hopefully going to join us back into the show. Congratulations to Arsenal. And, of course, they're playing in the Champions League final. Just a lot has happened. But can we go back to Rico? Here's how I feel about the Rico Verhoeven versus Oleksandr Usyk fight. This fight was announced on a Friday. It was met from the boxing community with a lot of eye rolling, a lot of this again, this is nonsense. Who the hell is Rico Verhoeven? I remember everyone was very dismissive of this guy, the greatest heavyweight kickboxer of all time, and certainly the most dominant kickboxer period of the last 10 years, like certainly not a schmuck or anyone who is, just like a geek off the street or some amateur. And I would say, of all the events, outside of the Wembley events, the stadium shows and all that Turkey and his crew have pulled off, this was the best one. Because it was everything that the Times Square event wasn't. The Times Square event was a dud. It didn't feel like we were in Times Square. It didn't look like Times Square. It didn't sound like Times Square. The fight sucked. It was a dud. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Visually, this was unbelievable. Now, how much did it cost for them to do that, to set that up? I have no idea. And that doesn't appear to be an issue. Visually, it was unbelievable. Visually, it was outstanding. It was 10 out of 10, 15 out of 10. The fights were great. The walkouts were great. The setting was great. I don't know if they sold a single ticket. I don't know who those people were in attendance. I don't know if anyone even cared about it in Egypt. My hunch says no. But maybe they got some money from the government. Who the hell knows? All I'm saying is, as a viewer, visually it was great. And the fights were great as well. Hamzah Sheeraz, Jack Catterall, Richard Torres getting knocked out by Frank Sanchez. Like, that was a great night of fighting. The one lone spot, of course, the dark spot, was the time in between the last fight, the Sheeraz fight, the co-main event, and the main event starting. I think it was around like 90 minutes or so. I was standing in the rain. My son had a soccer tournament in like Manalapan, way down south, New Jersey. And it was pouring. And the only thing I had going for me was that I was watching this thing. I had my ear, and I was listening to Ariel, Tony Bellew, Alistair Overeem, Todd Grisham, other members of the team, waxing poetic, and like I felt for them. I felt them struggling because they had to kill more and more time. Now, people complain about these things, and often there's a lot of factors. Like for the Netflix card, the fights were ending quickly, and when it's a non-pay-per-view, there's commercial breaks. You have to abide by them. You have to respect those. You can't blow through them. People have paid for them, whatnot. This was a pay-per-view, but sometimes it's the fighter. Sometimes the fighter says, I'm not walking until this time. We don't know what took so long, but that was the one lone spot. Once the fight happened, I don't know about you guys, but I was riveted by it. The way in which Rico fought, different stance, different attack. I thought, go check out, by the way, Inside Boxing. Chris Algieri, I thought, was phenomenal on this week's episode of Inside Boxing because he's a former kickboxer and he knows about the transition from kickboxing to boxing. The way in which he broke that down from a technical standpoint, I thought was amazing. Rico was the great unknown. He wasn't even Francis Ngannou to these people because they knew who Francis was from the UFC. He was fighting over in Glory. And so I think a lot of people didn't realize just how smart he was and how technical he was and how good he was. Massive credit to Peter Fury. That's part of the reason why I want to have him on the show today because he transformed a kickboxer into a high-level boxer. And in the end, I thought by the time we got to the 11th round, I thought Rico was up either 3 or 4 rounds. I'll be honest, I wasn't sitting there going like this, but I was like, all right, this guy is up. And if he doesn't squander this or get knocked out, he's going to win this. Like, look at the way, Rick, you've seen a lot of Rico Verhoeven over the years. We've never seen him fight like this, sort of like crouched down in the pocket, just ready to scrap. He wasn't necessarily always using his length and range to his advantage. He was in there. And I don't know if Usyk was prepared for that. I don't know if Usyk overlooked him. I know some people are saying, oh, he was 8 pounds heavy or 6 pounds heavy. He probably wanted to be heavier because Rico is that much bigger than him. It's impossible to know how seriously he took this challenge. This is the final sequence right here. And this is when he knocks him down. So it's a 10-8 round. And so this is the most controversial moment. Rico gets up. He loses his mouthpiece. The referee, Mark Lyson, counts him out. And then he gets the mouthpiece back. And now here's the moment of truth where the fight gets stopped. The referee's in back of Usyk. Now we're not listening to it with sound. Do we have sound? All right, because it's very important to actually listen to the sound. The fight gets stopped after the bell. It doesn't get stopped because he got knocked out after the bell. It gets stopped TKO after the bell, which is not right. And in fact, Peter Fury told IFL, and we're going to ask him about it, he told IFL that he saw Mark Lyson on the plane, and Mark said he didn't hear the bell. Now, that's fair. Like, you didn't hear the bell, you didn't hear the bell. That's the only explanation. He did not hear the bell. And I saw some people say, oh, if it would have gone to the 12th round, he would have gotten knocked out. Well, how do you know? We've seen enough fights where someone is stumbling, and then they come back, and then they ride it out. Now, we see the scorecards, and he was going to lose. He was going to lose based on the scorecards. I don't agree with these scorecards. 2 judges had it tied going into the 11th. 1 judge had him up. That's a 10-8 round. He's effed. He's absolutely effed. Here's the moment of truth, and just listen to the bell, and you can see that the fight is stopped, or here, after the bell sounds. Don't hear the bell in that one for some reason. Do we have one with the bell or no?
I heard it.
I heard the bell.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Yeah. It was there. I just heard it.
Ding.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because you're not wearing your glasses.
I think it's because of the glasses. Let's hear it one more time. Sorry.
It was right there.
Yeah. Look how late he is. Look how late he is. Now, are you trying to say that he was being boxed out by Usyk? I don't get it. It was a bad call, and this is the same story. It's actually the same story on 2 fronts. The boxing elitists, the naysayers, the ones who think that they are a part of this sport that is just so much better than any form of combat sport. You can't even touch us. You don't know shit about boxing. That's a thing. You don't know shit about boxing is a thing because only the most intellectually stimulated, smart, you have to be like up here. You have to be up here. You have to be like so smart to understand boxing. You have to be up here. They will tell you that these crossover fights are bullshit. And yet the 3 most notable crossover fights that we've seen over the past decade have been what? Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather, Tyson Fury fighting Francis Ngannou, and I'll get to the AJ fight in a moment, and Rico Verhoeven versus Oleksandr Usyk. And what's the common theme in all of those? In every single one of those, the debutant, where did he come from? The amateur, he doesn't belong, actually does pretty well. Conor was doing well at the beginning. Now, revisionist history, they'll say he was being carried, whatever. He still won those rounds. He got stopped in the 10th. Francis, I think, won. And I think Rico should have won. Or at the very least, gone into the 12th and should have been up at that point. And so the element of the unknown, the surprise factor, tends to play into the hands of the debutant. Now, what happens is Francis goes back to the well. They've got tape on him. They know to beat him. Good team, good coach, prepares properly. He gets knocked out. And so there's a lesson there for Rico. Number one, you're not going to get a fair shake. And number two, take the freaking fame, take the power, take the prestige, take the uncrowned champ status that you've now achieved and head on to something else. Because the next time around, I don't think it's going to go like that. And the next time around, you're still not going to get a fair shake. That's just the way it is. I'm not trying to suggest that there's, some higher power being paid up. It's just like this self-fulfilling prophecy. He can't possibly be winning. He can't possibly be doing this against the pound-for-pound best. He now is the people's champion. I saw, MVP saying, Francis, come on over. Let's do it on Netflix. He got offered more. And Rico's such a good guy that he turned that down to do this fight against Usyk because he gave his word to Turkey. It was only a one-fight deal. And so he should take everything that he just gained. He has now become so much more famous and popular in North America as a result of this robbery. That's the silver lining. Take that, head for the hills, and get paid now. And get paid. I bet the UFC is going to come calling. I bet MVP is going to come calling. Everyone should come calling. If I were him, I know he said on Saturday, run it back. I would say forget that. I won that fight. Forget that. Let me go get actually paid now and do things my way and hopefully get a fair shake. Now, I've weighed in on this a lot. Rick, you've been watching Rico for a very long time. To see him do that against Usyk. And again, it didn't feel like Francis because he was like, I don't want to say he's like our little secret because, of course, he's a massive, massive star. But it felt like no one appreciated who he was and how good he was. And so to see him actually rise to the occasion, like I was proud of the guy. I was like, shit, man, Rico's freaking doing it.
Absolutely. It was extremely admirable. I had similar feelings to Francis, which was I did not see this coming. Transparently, like once you eliminate, Rico is a very, very strong kicker. Kicking is a massive part of Rico's arsenal when it comes to kickboxing. So when you give me, a fight where you're eliminating a massive part of his arsenal to go in there and only box, I did not like his chances in this fight against Oleksandr Usyk, who is one of the greatest fighters of our generation. The reigning heavyweight champion, in my mind, undisputed, but regardless, one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. I was shocked. I was impressed. I thought Rico had a fantastic game plan. I thought he came in looking extremely sharp. I thought Usyk looked flat. It looked like Usyk did not take this fight seriously. And Rico was there to capitalize on it and take advantage of every single opportunity that he was given. Very impressive stuff. In a different way than Francis, I was shocked and impressed.
How did you have it going into that moment?
I don't remember round by round, but I had him ahead by 2 or 3 rounds at least.
And what do you think?
I thought the people that were like he's blanking Usyk were a little bit off.
No. It was reported on.
They only gave on the broadcast. I think Coppinger only gave him like 1 round or something in the early going.
I think he had a 9-1 going.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that far a disparity, but I had him ahead by a good 2 to 3 rounds for sure.
You've seen him fight for a while. How would you compare the way he fought as a boxer to?
Oh, completely different. Yeah. Not even. Again, you're taking out. Kicks are such a crucial part of kickboxing. There's a big difference, and there's a reason why boxing and kickboxing are not even remotely similar. And it is that element of kicks. Like he is not shy with them. Uses them as rangefinders. Uses them to teep. Uses them for finishes. He's a very, very strong kicker. And as you can see by like the way his frame is built and the strength of his legs, it's a dangerous weapon. So to limit him, I thought this was going to be disastrous. I thought it was going to be horrible. He came in with a very good game plan. He caught Usyk on the back foot so many times, and Usyk just did not look prepared to fight somebody as good as Rico Verhoeven. As far as like overall technical prowess as a combat sports athlete, Rico is the cream of the crop. Top of the, as you said, I think there will be many who will push back that he's the greatest heavyweight ever, but I think nobody in their right mind could not acknowledge that for our generation, for this current era, he has been peerless. He is a cut above everybody else when it comes to the kickboxing world. And so it was tremendous to see, but if you know how good an athlete he is, maybe that's not as shocking, but the world didn't really, and he was exposed to them. Shout out to Jason Statham for throwing a Hail Mary out there and getting it done and producing one of the better fights we've seen in a while.
Yeah. Shout out to us, man. We did this. I'm sorry, we did this.
Okay, my bad.
Do you not remember that? Do you not remember after Francis fought Renan Ferreira and we said, Francis versus Rico, that's the fight. That started all of this. You don't know this.
I remember this.
Were you off that day?
No, but then
Jason
Rico versus
took our idea and he went to the boss. But yo, I'm giving us, all of us, the collective Barry H. GC, what do you think?
Yeah, I in agreement with y'all. Like, I was shocked by Rico's performance. I didn't give him that much of a chance going into it. Just by taking away the kicks, you're taking away half of his weapons against a pound-for-pound guy, one of the greatest heavyweights of this generation. I really didn't give him much of a chance. I had him up 6-4 going into that 11th round. I thought it was probably going to be a 10-8 with the knockdowns at the end of round 11, so it probably would have been a 12th round to decide everything. I thought he performed at a level that I never could have expected him to against Oleksandr Usyk. The stoppage was egregious. It was ridiculous. He stepped in after the bell. Rico wasn't even out in the first place. And to not give him a chance to see through that 12th round, to see through where the scorecards were going to be at after those 12 rounds is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He did not get a fair shake at that, and whether he goes for a rematch or a massive payday elsewhere, he's well deserving of both.
It's a wild thing. Here's the thing. Ultimately, it feels like they're so dismissed, these guys who dare to cross over, when in reality, like, could you imagine if that was Usyk versus Rico in kickboxing?
Yeah, he'd get dismantled.
Or Tyson versus Francis in MMA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yet, for some reason, it's always the guy going over to boxing who gets dismissed, and yet they never want to consider the opposite. And if they did consider the opposite, it would go way worse than we ever see them when they cross over to this side of the fence.
I will say, at the highest level, right? There are middle levels where kickboxers, MMA fighters are trying their hand at boxing, and it does not go well, right? We're talking about the cream of the crop.
I'm talking the cream.
Yeah, it has to be the cream of the crop because
I mentioned the three. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go down, it is a very hard sport to master boxing, and I understand why. There is certainly some snobbish behavior and some elitism when it comes to that. But there's also a reality that these guys are extremely good. Oleksandr Usyk is generationally good. Like there's no doubt, and he should have handled Rico Verhoeven.
Do you think he overlooked him?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think he did train?
He looked horrible.
He did, yeah.
That if it doesn't matter who was in there with him, he looked horrible. He looked not good, despite the fact that he turned it up in the later rounds. I mean, thank God he did. Otherwise, Rico was just going to continue to pour it on him. But it was not a good performance by Usyk, regardless of who the opponent was that was standing across from him.
I actually think that's why I lean towards Rico going elsewhere rather than a rematch, because I think Usyk would go incredibly hard on the next one and not underestimate him in any way, shape, or form.
I agree with that, and I kind of feel like, look, who knows? I mean, they're going to throw a bunch of money at him. His stock is higher now. I'm just thinking about it from like a chess, not checkers perspective.
Yeah.
Use this and just kind of take the money and run, so to speak. But, he's a gamer, man.
Do we think he can get a bigger fight?
I think he could get paid more money to fight on
then
Netflix.
You have to. Yeah. That's the move to make. The same way Francis Ngannou
Francis versus Rico, is that a Netflix main event after this?
Yes, it is.
I agree.
After this especially.
Especially considering, I mentioned Jason Statham. You get him involved in it. You have a platform that's a entertainment platform. Like, I feel like this is very corporate, but synergy. Like, this is a synergistic fight. It makes a lot of sense. It crosses over to a lot of different things, including the world of Hollywood. I think you leverage it to go as far as you can. In the same way that Francis leveraged the Tyson Fury fight into an Anthony Joshua fight and another massive payday. You have to just leverage this as best you can. I imagine he can get something bigger outside of a Usyk rematch from a money perspective.
It's been so many years now. Were we demanding a rematch after Ngannou Fury?
I think people wanted it.
I wanted it.
Yeah.
I think both sides wanted
But
it too.
I think we all kind of came to the conclusion that it wasn't going to happen relatively quickly, that Fury was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
What about that scene afterwards where the little guy was saying that Kabayel's next, and then Turkey comes in, he's like, I want to see the rematch? Was that not the funniest thing ever?
It was a bit awkward. It was a little bit weird.
Yo, what was that?
Also,
that was,
like interviewing people with the microphone, like
that was amazing. They were like arguing about what's next for the guy, and he's standing right there.
it was bizarre. It was bizarre.
Rico was so classy, as always.
Dude.
Has the guy ever been?
No, he has always been. You know, I've been around him for a bit when I worked at Glory. The dude has always handled himself extremely professionally. That's kind of been the knock against him, right? He's too buttoned up.
Yeah.
He's too classy. He's too professional. His biggest rival during his era was Badr Hari.
Yeah,
and
the opposite.
It was because he was the opposite.
Yeah.
He's the loose cannon, can't control him type of guy. Rico was always this. And so to see it at this level, when you are this close to greatness against Usyk, and to have it snatched in the way that it was, who knows how that... Look, I don't really care how round 12 goes. I don't. Like, if you're telling me Usyk knocks him out, I'm fine with that. It was still a fantastic performance by Rico Verhoeven. I have to see it, though. You can't take it from him in that way. And for him to handle it the way he did after that, again, impressive. Just continue to impress.
Do you believe that the ref didn't hear the bell?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not like we were in a 50,000...
It's a bad stoppage if he heard it or didn't hear it. Horrible stoppage.
No.
If he heard it, it's one of the worst stoppages I've ever seen. I mean, he steps in 2 seconds after the bell went off.
I see this message here from Rico. Leave emotions out of it. Read the cards. 1 second left heading into the 12th and final round. Onwards and upwards. Respect to Usyk. It was an honor to share the ring with you. Let's run it back, Turkey. So I guess he does want the rematch. And we're going to talk to Mr. Rico Verhoeven in about 23 minutes' time. So we'll get his thoughts on that. Hamzah Sheeraz, who had an incredible win as well. Like I said, Jack Catterall, Frank Sanchez, Richard Torres was a shocker as well, the knockout. We do have some breaking news, though. I do want to get to this, because we'll talk a lot about this fight throughout the show. The PFL announcing, New York's on fire, huh? The New York sports scene is on fire. PFL announcing that on Friday, July 31st, they are coming to the UBS Arena, Long Island. Card headlined by Usman Nurmagomedov versus Archie Colgan, and Dakota Ditcheva versus Denise Kielholtz. Now, they're still not doing a title fight for old Dakota, huh? What's up with that? Any other fights announced? Usman, 21-0. Archie, 13-0.
Actually, though, why would you not make her be fighting for a title?
I don't
Who is
understand.
the champ? Still Liz Carmouche?
I mean,
Is it?
No, she's not. She was the Bellator champ. Or she was the tournament champ. You remember I asked
but who is
John Martin? They don't have a champ. But they're like, I don't know. I don't understand it. By the way, are there other fights announced? No, there aren't. So that's July 31st. It'll air on ESPN, but it's at the
It's vacant.
UBS Arena. You guys have been there. I've never been there.
Yeah, great,
Sure have.
great
Been there
arena.
a couple times. I'll be there again on July 31st. To
Hell yeah.
Watch Usman and Dakota.
Well, they tell us, I looked into this, Usman has still not signed a new deal. And it's TBD on whether or not he will sign a new deal. So
It could potentially
This
be
is his last
walking out
fight.
with a title if he wins it.
This is his last fight.
Oh, that's fascinating drama.
This is CM Punk John Cena. This is Francis Ngannou Cyril Gane. Yeah, crazy, right? Should they re-sign him?
Yeah, of course.
What if he's asking for top dollar and Islam has left the 55 division?
You don't got anybody else, man.
Yeah.
You need him desperately. Him and Paul Hughes were the biggest thing that your promotion had for the longest. Like, you need to get him back.
I kind of like the fact that he's fighting in New York. A lot of Russians live in Brooklyn. Do they live in Long Island too? Or on Long Island?
Maybe
In Long
more
Island or on Long Island?
It's
on. Maybe
me
more toward Queens, but even still.
Let me check the New York Post real quick.
Yeah, see if they got info on that.
on that. Let's just see this. Do you want to say anything about your Cavs? I didn't really give you an opportunity, Rick.
Yeah, analytically, they did very well. That's all I got to say.
Who gives a shit?
I think Ariel, you were like, it was a great run, Rick. And I saw a stat that They were statistically like the worst Eastern Conference Finals team ever. 10-8 is as bad as you can possibly do while making the conference finals.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Is it 10? Was it 10? No, I think it was actually 8-10.
8-10. 8-10, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they finished 8-10, which is as bad as you can possibly do while making the conference finals.
And then James Harden last night is like, yeah, I thought we were the better team.
That's the craziest
And
thing.
then the coach, Kenny Atkinson, is like, analytically, we should be up 2-1.
Fuck, man. You say that after game 1, maybe game 2, you're like, I still know we're the better team. We're going back to Cleveland. After a sweep, you don't have an argument.
You just
for
say
it.
peace and love.
Yeah, great season.
To Donovan's credit, he didn't say any of that nonsense. New York boy, deep down, just like our very own New York Rick. I think Donovan Mitchell's
taking pictures with the Knicks fans before the game. That's what you want to see as a Cavs fan.
Yeah, I think he's actually happy for us, just like you are.
I think he's happy.
He's happy the season's over. I think he's happy for many reasons.
1, 2, 3 Cancun for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, plenty of more Knicks talk to come throughout the next couple of weeks. Have no fear. Back into the program, we're going to be joined by Ben Shalom, the founder and the head man over at Boxer. They have a show on the BBC this weekend. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by Peter Fury, head coach for one, Rico Verhoeven. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by Rico Verhoeven himself. But let us now talk to the man who won the co-main event. What a phenomenal knockout in the second round. He won the vacant WBO super middleweight title, improving his record now to 23-0-1 with 19 knockouts. He is the pride of both Pakistan and England. He is the quiet storm, Hamzah Sheeraz, who is kind enough to join us right here now on the program. There he is. Hello, Hamzah. How are you, my friend?
How's it going, Ariel? I'm all good, bro.
Great to have you back on the program. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. How was the experience over there? I was just saying earlier, I thought of all the events that Turkey and the Ring have put on, this was the best visually. This was the one that we didn't know how it was going to look, and it exceeded expectations. You fought in that location. What was it like?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. I can only be thankful to His Excellency for giving me the opportunity to, win my first world title in front of such a great backdrop, such great history. And it was a pinch myself moment, man. I remember coming out changing rooms and the first thing you see is the pyramids right in front of you. Pretty surreal. Got the job done. Happy days, and now world champion.
Was there any point, I don't know, maybe throughout the week or even on the night where you're like kind of in awe of where you are fighting, and you kind of have to snap out of it because there's a job at hand?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like about 3 minutes before my ring walk, they put you in this little waiting area, and all you got in front of you is the pyramids. And then I was kept kind of like drifting away and kept having to snap back into it to think, listen, get back in the zone now. You're on your ring walk soon. So yeah, it was pretty surreal, man.
And the atmosphere, again, on television, it's kind of hard to tell, like, is there a buzz? Is there any type of atmosphere? I was at the Times Square event. Unfortunately, there wasn't an atmosphere. It was very quiet. How would you describe the atmosphere where you were fighting?
It was good. It was good. I wouldn't say it was the loudest or the biggest, but it was enough to kind of get you going. It was enough to get you in the zone. And yeah, it was nice to win my first title there because I had a few fans there. I could say I had about 2,000 odd fans there. So
wow,
yeah, it was a great environment to be in. I had a lot of people come from Dubai as well, so it was just around the corner for them.
And there's part of the team there after the win. So to now win at 27 years of age, your first world title, what does this moment mean for you?
It means everything, man. It means everything. I won it when I was 26 years old. I turned 27 yesterday.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations and happy birthday!
Thank you, bro. And it's a full circle moment. Do you know what I mean? From where I come from where I grew up, from even when I turned pro. Never did I think I'd win a world title. In interviews, I always used to say it, but only up until recent, the dream was within touching distance, and I've been working just hard, man, working very hard, very smart under Andy Lee, and yeah, here we are, man.
Can you describe what's been the secret sauce with Andy? I had him as my trainer of the year last year. I love the team that he has, the stable. I like that it's not too big, and what he's done for the likes of you and Ben Whitaker and obviously Joseph Parker, Patty Donovan. Why has it been so special? Why has the link up worked so well for you?
Because he's a teacher. It's as simple as that. Because he's a teacher, he's been there, seen it, done it, and he's got the T-shirt, as they say. And he understands his fighters. He understands every fighter is different. Not every fighter thinks the same or fights the same. but his recipe and what he does works for all the fighters. So it's just about listening to him, really. And I've got a good connection with him. I've never really had a connection with any of my previous coaches or trainers. And yeah, man, he's a great guy, and he's an even greater teacher.
By the way, the last time we saw you was back in July here in New York. That great event, Edgar Berlanga at the Louis Armstrong Stadium. Why did it take so long for you to come back? Almost a year.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. I had a bit of bad luck, man. It was. I had the first fight with Billy lined up, and then the fight got cancelled. And then I was meant to fight Pacheco for the WBO, and then he pulled out last-minute negotiations. So it was just down to a bit of bad luck, man. But in the end, we got there.
You had, I think our internet stalled there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, bro.
Okay, no, all good. You had such great momentum after that win over Berlanga. Were you getting frustrated? Were you getting antsy? Because you obviously want to try to build on that. And here you are on the outside looking in while other fighters are getting opportunities.
Yeah, it was hard, man. You'd think after a win like that, the opportunities would be endless. Do you know what I mean? But that wasn't the case. It was just, like I said, down to a little bit of bad luck. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer in God, and I believe it was God's plan.
You mentioned Christian Mbili. We now know that he'll be fighting Canelo Alvarez in September. And obviously, you've been linked to Canelo in the past, and you just mentioned you were linked to Mbili. How do you think he does against Canelo?
A bit of a bold statement, but I believe Canelo stops him within 6 to 8 rounds. I believe styles make fights, and I believe he's just all right for Canelo.
Wow, okay. Did you see him out there? Did you have any interactions with him?
I saw him once. We had a photo shoot together, and it was nothing but respect. You know, he's one of, I've said it before, he's one of my boxing heroes. So, you know, to even be in the same sentence as him is an achievement itself. But if I do get the opportunity to fight him, just know I'll be making the most out of it.
So is that the hope right now? Is the hope Canelo wins and you fight him next? Is there a chance of that?
There's a big chance of it. I wouldn't say it's my next fight because I'd like to stay active. I'd like to stay busy. I don't want to make that same mistake of just staying idle and nothing happening. So listen, as long as I keep doing my thing, I'm sure there's a fight that will happen in the future.
Yeah, because you had your last fight in July. This fight only lasted 2 rounds. So I would imagine there's a part of you while you're still training and putting in the rounds with sparring and whatnot, there's probably a part of you that wants to get a little bit more ring time as well, right?
100%. Listen, all the great fighters back in the day, what they used to do, they used to stay busy, they used to fight. And any opportunity I get now, listen, I've got the belt, so I'm going to be a target as well. Do you know what I mean? People out there wanting to fight me. So let's have it, man. Bring on all of them.
So if it was up to you, when would you return and against who?
Listen, as soon as possible against anyone.
You don't have a preference?
No, I honestly don't. I'd fight whoever, whenever, wherever, however, you name it.
I would imagine Canelo is at the very top of the list, but obviously, like you said, he's booked. He would be the number one, right? He's the dream fight right now?
Yeah, of course. And he's, I still believe, the top dog in the division now that Crawford's retired. So to get an opportunity to prove that I believe I am would be an honor.
I saw you get a call from Declan Rice. Are you an Arsenal guy?
Yeah, I told you last time I'm an Arsenal guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to erase these things from my mind. What was that like?
Great month it's been.
It has been a great month and a big weekend coming up. What was it like getting a call from Declan?
Do you know what? It was like 20 minutes before I was getting my hands wrapped and I was zoning in. Then I got a call from him and it was a bit like, he's always been supporting me. So it was good, man. And I was just telling him, like, congratulations. And he was saying, just zone in and crack on.
Man of the people he is. I saw him at 5 o'clock in the morning, just like walking around with the fans there. That was incredible.
Yeah, one of the most humble sportsmen I think I've ever met in my career, man. So
where were you when they clinched it? Were you in Egypt?
I was in Egypt. Yep, I was in Egypt. Where was I? I was having dinner. I remember having dinner at the hotel. I thought it'd go down to the last game.
Okay.
But it didn't. They set the tone. They done their job, I done mine, and now hopefully win the Champions League.
Where are you going to be watching on Saturday?
I'll probably be back in Dubai. I'll be back in Dubai. And if I'm not in Dubai, then I'll be watching it live in Budapest.
Okay. Wait. Oh, you're thinking about going?
Yeah, potentially, man. Potentially.
Oh, that would be some scene. How do you like their chances?
Listen, I feel like, to win championships, you've got to have luck on your side and you've got to have a performing team. I believe Arsenal have both, and I believe we're going to get a 2-0 victory.
Okay, I love it. I love the confidence. That's tremendous. And you know a thing or two about rising to the occasion. I believe your last 17 victories have come via stoppage, right? So you're on some kind of roll. Do you think you're now going to be talked about, among, the top, boxing in the UK is on fire. Is it time that people start talking about you as one of the big draws, about, one of the big names? Do you feel like that time is now?
Yeah, I believe so. Ariel. And if not, I'll keep proving them wrong or right, whoever believes in me, whoever doesn't. I'll just keep doing my thing. Got one of the belts now. Keep picking up the belts and soon become undisputed and unified.
Do you have any sort of theory as to why it maybe is taking a little bit longer for people to get on the bandwagon?
I don't really. I'll be honest with you, I don't. Maybe because I didn't have kind of the biggest start in my pro career or the most media coverage. But I'm a firm believer in staying focused and working hard and just, the cliche saying of let your success make the noise.
Mm. And this particular fight on Saturday against Adam Belgic, did you expect it to be a quick one?
I predicted 4 rounds.
Oh wow!
I predicted 4 rounds. After the first round, I went back in the corner, and Andy just more or less said, "Listen, just take him out of there." And it was about doing it in true Kronk's fashion.
Yeah, it was amazing. I call him Alan Belgic, who was undefeated going into this bout. So no cakewalk and no sort of layup, as we say here in America. I know you were probably focused on the win itself, but did you happen to catch the main event?
Listen, I caught up with it the next day, like a few of the highlights and whatnot. A lot of questions.
Yeah, a
lot of questions. But my theory on the fight is that Usyk, it was too hard to take Rico seriously. And if I was in Usyk's position, I would have done the same thing. You've been fighting your whole career at a level where your opponents are putting that kind of extra fire in your belly, making you run the extra miles, making you do the get pick and fight against hard to switch on. But listen, nonetheless, he got the win. Controversial as everyone's seen, but I think if it went in the last round, I still think he would have got the stoppage anyway.
So you think it was a case of him sort of overlooking Rico because he was bigger, but I was wondering if maybe he was bigger because Rico's a bigger guy and so he wanted to have more weight on him.
No, I think he was overlooking him, but I don't blame him. Do you know what I mean? I don't blame him. I would, like I said, I would have done the same thing. And it's similar to Fury and Ngannou. It's the same kind of element. Do you know what I mean? And I don't blame him, man.
What do you think of the stoppage, though? Do you think it was late?
The referee said he didn't hear it, so I don't know. It's kind of a lose-lose situation because if he let the fight go and he got brutally knocked out in the 12th round, the blame would have gone on the ref. And now he stopped it too early. He's getting the blame as well. So it's a lose-lose for the ref. But I think in the 12th, it would have been the same outcome. In
terms of the way Rico fought, were you impressed based on what you saw?
It was different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was very different. And it was interesting. It just goes to show that if you've got a good cornerman in Peter Fury and you execute a game plan and you listen to it, you can make it hard for one of the best heavyweights out there.
So do you think if they run it back and Usyk takes him seriously, do you think it's a vastly different fight, dramatically different?
The thing is with Usyk is your best chance to beat him is the first time you fight him. The second time you fight him, good luck. You know what I mean? Good luck.
He's so good in rematches, you're right. And I also feel like there's a lesson to be learned from the Francis AJ fight that when you're sort of unknown to the boxing public and your opponent and his team, you can catch him. The next time out, if there's tape on you, they'll catch you.
Exactly that. And it's that whole element of surprise, right? Once that's gone, you haven't really, as a kind of kickboxer or another combat sport fighter, you haven't really got the advantage anymore.
Yeah. By the way, how's the modeling career going? I saw you on GQ.
Yeah. I done that was my second shoot with them. That was, and it's going well, man. It's the opportunities I get. I just try crack on with them, and just try to be a bit of a pretty boy outside of camp.
You like that? You like having like the sort of two lives, tough guy, pretty guy.
It's kind of a juxtaposition, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what it is. It is a juxtaposition, but it's good because you're not painted with that cliche boxer brush. Do you know what I mean? So it's a good avenue to go down.
I do wonder if people, some of your detractors look past you or don't give you the credit. They say, "Oh, he's just a pretty boy. He cares too much. He's not a tough, rugged fighter."
It's an advantage, and nowadays that works. It gets you probably more money outside the ring than you'd get inside of the ring. So I'm not complaining, Ariel.
Do you feel like that's the case? Do you feel like you're getting opportunities because you're putting yourself out there like this?
Yeah, definitely. I think once you expose yourself to kind of that side of things, the opportunities are endless. And the only thing is I will never prioritize that over my boxing. My boxing always comes first. The training always comes first. So if I've got free time and extra time and opportunity arises, then I'll take it. If not, then boxing's number one.
So perfect world, you get another fight in soon. Would you like 3 this year?
I'd love 3 this year. I'd love that. That'd be ideal for me. And yeah, man, it would keep that momentum going.
Well, you're must-see TV, Hamzah. It's amazing to see you do your thing. Congratulations on the win. Well done. Another knockout in the books for you, and I hope that you get one of these big fights that you're looking for because you certainly deserve it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ariel, man. I appreciate it.
Take care. There he is, Hamzah Sheeraz, kind enough to join us. Big Arsenal supporter. Yes, he did in fact tell us this last year when he was here in studio getting ready for the Edgar Berlanga fight. That was at Louis Armstrong, which is where AEW happened this past Sunday. What a show that was, right? I'm going to talk to the guys about their AEW experience back into the program. They were there in attendance, Double or Nothing. Some people calling it the best AEW pay-per-view of all time. MJF, by the way, won the belt back. He defeated Darby Allin. But what about Hamzah Sheeraz? Now 23-0-1. His last 17 victories have come via stoppage. Did have that controversial draw against Carlos Adames. That was in February of 2025. Alan Begic was 29-0-1 coming into this fight. So his first career defeat, and he disposed of him in just, a round and change in the second round. So a very impressive win for the man they call Quiet Storm, who is now the WBO super middleweight champion. Well done to him. Of course, the biggest story of this past weekend was what transpired in the main event. I've weighed in this past weekend in real time. I've weighed in on this program, and it is such a massive, massive, massive honor for us to be joined by the man who I now consider the uncrowned king of kickboxing and the uncrowned king of boxing, because what he did on Saturday shocked the vast majority of the boxing world. It did not shock those who have been watching him for quite some time, doing his thing over in Glory, the undefeated run, the championships, the one-night tournaments, all that and more. We've had him on the show countless times. And so to see the lack of respect that he received from the moment this fight was announced up until the walkout and even post-walkout, and the fight itself, we talked about the controversy. Some might say typical boxing, but the way in which he dealt with it, the class, not surprising, but amazing to see with his heart ripped out that he handled it with grace, with class, with maturity. It was a beautiful thing. And so what a great pleasure, what a great honor it is to be joined by the one and only Rico Verhoeven, the pride of the Netherlands, kind enough to join us right here and now. Let me 1 second. Let me stand up. I salute you. Brother. Rico, I salute you, my man, because from the moment this fight was announced, you were disrespected, you were dismissed, you were just kind of shooed away. The boxing elite said this guy doesn't even, who is this guy? I was watching that broadcast, Rico, and I was getting offended on behalf of you, amateur, debutante, the audacity of him to think he could go in there with Usyk, and you went in there, my man, and it was systematic, round after round. And I was watching, like, my heart was swelling for you because I was like, he's doing it. He is doing it. He is going to do it. And then it was ripped out. And so can I ask you right here and now, a couple of days removed, how are you feeling? How are you digesting this all?
To be honest, man, I'm on cloud nine. I'm excited. I'm thankful. We wrote history. We did something, like you just said, nobody expected. But just to share a quick light on that,
Please.
Like, why I'm not like angry on those opinions, because all those opinions were formed on their knowledge of who Rico is. So they just saw a part of the information they had from me as a boxer at the one boxing match and the kickboxing part. And if I would fight, if I would have fought like I'm a kickboxer, I would have got my ass beat, exactly what they expected. But of course, that was not what we planned to do. But with that little information, it shows that people jump on that information and make their conclusions. And I just hope that this is such a big lesson for everybody, that don't draw your conclusions too quick. Don't judge a book by its cover till you have like all the information, because people didn't see me for 6 months training and transitioning into boxing. And like I said before, I've been training with Peter Fury for over 15 years. So yeah, it didn't come from one day on the other.
For sure. And that's great perspective. But can I ask, you paused there when you said how you're feeling. I wasn't sure if you were going to say cloud nine or heartbroken, because you have every right to feel heartbroken and cheated. And so why do you feel like you're on cloud nine? Why are you so happy after what appeared to be a wrong being bestowed upon you?
Because I got the opportunity to fight arguably maybe the best that has ever done it. And I was winning. I was outboxing one of the best boxers ever. So how cool is that? How that made me feel so next level. And that's just, like I said, that's just not me, who I am, Ariel. Of course, at that moment after that fight, I was hurt. I was disappointed. I was sad. But then looking back at it and getting all the love from all across over the world, from what happened and how it happened, it's just like, wow. And like I said, it's just like I can be just so thankful that I got this opportunity, that Jason put my name out there, that His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh made this happen together with his team, Dr. Rakan, etc. That they made this happen at this epic location. Just like, look at it as a glass half full instead of half empty. And of course, it's like an unfair situation and how everything went. But yeah, that's why we appealed the whole thing. But like for the rest, like I said, I'm super thankful.
Okay, so obviously I have a million questions. I'm curious, Rico.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, and thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate it. I'm curious. You fought on the biggest of stages in front of tens of thousands of people with much at stake, but you were sort of reverted back to a rookie on Saturday. What were you feeling like in the changing room? What were you feeling like knowing that you were about to do this thing that everyone was counting you out in this sport that you're not as well versed in? How were you feeling? Were you more nervous? What was going on internally?
I had the exact same nerves as always.
Wow.
Because for me, to be honest, I love Usyk. He's like somebody I admire as an athlete, as a boxer. So everything that he does, I resonate with. I love that. But he's great at what he does. But to me, he's a man with 2 arms and 2 legs, and he can't do anything better or different or whatever that I can. So because I trained super hard for this. So I was super confident in the game plan that we had. And the only thing I had to do is I had to show that. And that's that. Because there was no pressure on me, because everybody expected me to fail.
Was there any point, perhaps even earlier in the fight, first few rounds, where you're thinking to yourself, "This is going a lot better than I thought"? Like, are you talking to like, wow, how is this playing out this way? Did that happen?
Exactly what I thought. I was like, am I out jabbing the best boxer in the world? What the hell is going on here? I was like tapping him with his lead arm. I was like pop, 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 jabbing him in the face. I was like, damn, is this happening? I love it.
I love
so
that.
I was excited. My team, my corner was like, yo, Rico, we're doing great, man. Let's keep doing it.
Much has been made about the extra weight and how he looked. We just had Hamzah Sheeraz on, who won in the co-main event, say that he thought that Usyk kind of took you lightly, and that was an indication of that. What is your response to that? Do you think that his physique, do you think that the way in which he looked and fought was an indication that he took you lightly?
I don't know. He said he didn't. He said he trained really hard. Maybe he came in a little heavier because he thought I was heavier. I don't know. I can't tell or judge anything on what he was expecting, but it is what it is. So I just only thing I can talk about is what I did and what I put into it and how focused I was to get this win.
One thing that I was so curious about and what made this fight so much fun is that we've only for the most part seen you in kickboxing matches. And so I was curious what Rico Verhoeven, the boxer, would look like, and your stance, the way you were kind of like hunched over like that, it was a different kind of look. You don't have kicks to your advantage. We're curious the way you're going to use your reach, your foot movement, all that stuff is totally different when you're fighting as a kickboxer boxer. And so could you give us some insight into that transition, as you called it, that transformation? How difficult was it to kind of shed some old habits that you're accustomed to as a kickboxer and to, become this boxer that we saw on Saturday?
Yeah, so accidentally, I think I head kicked like 2 or 3 sparring partners. No,
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Wow. I believed you.
I'm a professional, Ariel.
Yeah,
Come on.
okay. I don't know. Old habits.
No, like I said, I've been boxing for so long already, so I'm used to that. No, but the transition was hard. Was really hard.
Why was it hard?
Because just think about the habits we have as human beings, the things you do, the things that you're used to, things that we say that are certain habits. And people, for example, start telling you stop that. Okay, and stop that, and stop that. Change it to this, change it to that. Oh, and every time you do it, oh fuck, I'm doing it again. Oh fuck, I'm doing it again. So those things were incredibly hard because, like I said, I've been kickboxing since I was 6 years old. So, and I've dominated the kickboxing sport for so long, and I was boxing to kickbox, and now I was boxing or learning boxing to box. So that was a huge difference on stance, on movement, on the hands or whatever the movement was. Yeah, it was quite something.
Can I ask specifically, what was the toughest thing to correct? What was the thing that you kept messing up on that they would call you out on?
I think also the moment I got the uppercut, being too square on. I think that was the main thing. And as we saw later in the rounds, I made that mistake again, and I got hit. So I think that was the hardest thing to change, because for the other 10 rounds I was doing pretty good on the side, moving around from left to right, orthodox southpaw, so that worked amazingly. And then just one moment I was too square on, boom, I got the uppercut. Damn, okay. We get back up and we continue, but then I didn't get the opportunity to finish what I started. But for the rest, I was I think it was a pretty solid performance.
And I'll ask you about that finish in a second. I'm just sort of building up to it. I'm curious, was there anything that surprised you about Usyk, about his tactics, about the way in which he fought?
Not really, to be honest. Not really, because I knew he was going to be hard to catch, and I knew he was going to be slippery and moving from left to right, and it was hard to get him to hit him like with a solid punch and hit him right away. So that's why there were like second and third phase attacks, because he is so fast and he is so smart with his movements, and nobody's done it before. They just tried to that first phase. Oh, it didn't work. Okay, we leave it. And again, first phase, and okay, it didn't work. We leave it. So that's why we start first phase, second phase, third phase. So just keep continuing and keep putting on the pressure and keep throwing light punches. So I think for how I felt, like I was outworking one of the best boxers that ever did it.
How did the cardio feel? Because obviously we usually see you in 5-round fights. This is 12 3-minute rounds. It's a different type of,
How did the cardio look?
I mean, looking and feel. I don't know how you felt internally. There were some people who afterwards say, "Oh, he was slowing down." I didn't see that. I wanted to hear it from you.
I was slowing down a bit at the end, but still, if you look at it, I was keeping like a really good pace for like 10, 11 rounds. So it was, no, I was excited. I was feeling good. Every time I come back to it, how are you feeling? I'm feeling good. Let's go. So, and maybe if we like, because I'm always, and me and my team, we're our own biggest critic. If we look back at it, we can say like, maybe we could have taken like a round off somewhere in between, maybe 2 rounds, just moving around and taking a look and catch your breath for a little bit. But like I said, we were on a roll. We were feeling so good. Yeah, we were just like surprised by some things that, for example, after there was like open scorecards, and after 4 rounds we got the scorecards. We were like, hey, we're even. Okay, I felt like I was at least like 3-1, but okay, we're even. That's fine. Then we get the scorecards again, and after another 4 rounds, so after round 8, and still we were even. You're like, this, I don't know. This starts to feel like, I don't know, fishy, because like I feel like I'm winning these rounds. I'm working more. I'm getting hit less, and I'm touching him more than he's hitting me. So maybe I have to like push it a little bit more. So yeah, it's getting looked at with like a protective, or through a protective boxing lens. So, and that maybe because I'm an outsider, I have to put in that extra work to, be even more convincing. But like we saw in the commentating stats, I was like at round 10, it was like 8-2 instead of like going up equal.
Did you know, and these are the official scorecards in the end, but I'm curious, did you know that there would be open scoring? Did they tell you this beforehand?
Yes, sir.
And so like we don't often see that. I know WBC has dabbled with this in the past. I didn't know this. I don't remember hearing the announcement, but like, do you have any idea how they came to the conclusion that this particular fight would have open scoring, and why this particular fight?
I have no clue. They just said it. They said that the rules, meaning, hey, it's gonna be open scoring after every 4 rounds. You're gonna get the scorecards. But like, okay, perfect. I love it. So you can change tactics within the fight if you have to. But like, strangely enough, we were like feeling within the fight, and from my corner, we were feeling like we were dominating. And luckily, also on TV, they said the same thing. Like, hey, Rico's like literally dominating. We think like he got at least like 8 rounds. He's 8 rounds ahead, 8-2. And then we got the scorecards, and then it was different than we expected. So that was somewhat disappointing.
So I've been a proponent of open scoring for quite some time. There's a lot of people who don't like it. Now that you've actually been a part of a fight with open scoring, do you think it helps or hurts the fighter? Like, had you not known where things stood, do you think you would have fought differently as a result?
That's a good question. Maybe. In
What way?
Maybe we would have had the thing like, hey, we're up 8 rounds, at least, maybe 7, but somewhere between 7 and 8 rounds we're up. So just box him. Just move around, touch him up, don't take any risks, and that is what it is. But yeah, still I was feeling like, hey, we're close. I have to, like, as soon as he touches me, I need to get those points back. So I kept on pushing because that's what I do. I wasn't there to play around. I was there to take over. I was there to shock the world. I was there to win that title as the first crossover fighter to ever do it that way.
Have you rewatched the fight?
100%.
So how did you have it scored going into the 11th?
Yeah, somewhere 8-2.
Okay.
I think I lost about 2 rounds, or at least lost. Yeah, it was close, but I was like, I can see that. I can see that. But certain rounds, when I look at the scorecards, they were set. I lost them. I was like, but he didn't even touch me, or maybe he touched me once or twice, and I hit him like 4, 5, 6 times. Like, how did I lose that? I don't see it. But like I said, I'm not a judge, so it's hard to yeah, to give that from my perspective. It's just like my feeling and how I see it. But like I said, I'm just coming into boxing. For me, this is all new. This whole world is new, and I'm just like enjoying the whole process. And to be honest, I appealed it. Actually, and then I understand your follow-up question. But what do you want with the appeal? Actually, to be honest, all I'm actually looking for is an apology. Like, yo, Rico, we're sorry. This should have went differently, and that's it. Well, what else? What else can I ask for? So like I said, I'm super thankful that I got the opportunity, that the WBC sanctioned it, and I was there. And I showcased that these crossover fights are definitely something that needs to happen more in the future. It started off, of course, with the Mayweather McGregor fight. We had the Ngannou Fury fight. We had the Jake Tyson fight, and now we had the Rico Usyk fight. And I think if you look at it, it's like it brings so much eyeballs to combat sports in general, and the whole landscape just changes. And there's so many interest from different type of companies, from partnerships, from brands, and I love it. I love it. I just love to see everything that's going on right now, and I'm super thankful to be a part of that.
When he dropped you, you just talked about squaring up, and that's what allowed him to perhaps catch you with the uppercut. How hurt were you? Like, honestly, do you think you could have continued? Do you think if there was a minute left in the fight, you would have been okay? Meaning, sorry, a minute left in the round, not the end of the round.
Of course, but then I would have probably took another route. I probably would have moved around and go boxing and go back just on the jab. But I was like, okay, he's gonna start pushing. So if you look back at it, I got the uppercut. Well, if for the people that know my fights, I've been dropped multiple times in different type of fights, in championship fights. And what I do is I get back up. And no matter how much time is left on the clock, I get back up and I end up winning. So that was the mindset, because I got back up. They put the mouthpiece. My mouthpiece was out, so they changed. They put the mouthpiece back in, but I heard. So I knew, oh, okay, that's good. There's only 10 seconds left, so let me keep my hands up and let me get to the 12th round. So. And I knew he was going to come straight at me. So he was coming. I was like, pop, pop. I gave him another hook. I believe it was a right hook. But he was I was like, that's not smart. Let's just pop, pop, keep my hands up and wait till the bell goes. And it's just like, whoa, when is the bell going to go? When is the referee going to stop this? Those 10 seconds are taking long right now. And then he jumped in. I was like, okay, fuck. The round is over. He's like, no, it's over. It's over. So, what do you mean it's over? No, it's over. Huh? But why? No, I stopped it. I was like, what the heck is going on here? So for me, it was a surprise. And then afterwards, we heard that the bell already rang, before he jumped in. So yeah, I don't know.
That's a great point, by the way, because we keep fixating on the referee, Mark Lyson, stopping the fight very clearly after the bell. But the truth is, what we should really be saying is that if there was 2 minutes left in the round, that was a bad stoppage. It doesn't matter. A referee, in fairness to all referees, they should never take into account how much time is left. They need to stop the fight when they think a fight should be stopped. But there were two infractions in that moment. Number one, the round was over. It wasn't like there was 1 second left, as they said. Not true. The round was clearly over. And number two, it was a bad stoppage. No matter how many times you break it down by different angles, you should never have been stopped in that moment. You were dropped. You got back up. You were fighting back. You were defending yourself. And that's what's so frustrating about it all. And so I saw a clip, Rico, of your coach, Peter Fury, who said that he spoke to Mark on the plane back home, and Mark said to him that he didn't hear the bell. Is that what you're hearing as well? I was wondering if he said anything to you in the aftermath.
No. He told that I didn't speak and didn't talk to him after the fight. Peter was with him on the plane. He had the discussion or the talk with him, and that's what he said. I didn't hear the bell, but yeah, there are so many examples of championship fights. For example, the fight with Usyk and Fury, or the fight with Fury and Wilder. Fury got dropped, and he was having like a tea party with Jesus when he got dropped. And what happened? He got the time to recover. He got back up, and it was all fine. So, and I'm just keeping my hands up. I'm responsive. I'm not like gone or whatever. And they just like stop. They wave it off. Like no. I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't know. I think to be honest, I deserved, and the fans deserved to see that 12th round.
100%.
What the outcome would be. Yeah, but then all the opinions come again. Yeah, but you would have never survived that 12th round. There is no what if. You know? So if I would have been a girl, I would have been in that ring. I would have been Rico the fighter that I am. So it's like, there is no what if. You know? So stop the what ifs. Like, let's just focus on the things that happened and how we judge that and how we talk about it, and let's continue from there. Don't go like, what if this and what if that and what if whatever. There's no
it's
what
absurd.
if.
It's absurd to hear people say it with such certainty as well, because if we would have listened to their what if from the beginning, you never would have made the walk, because they said you didn't even deserve to be breathing the same oxygen as this guy in the ring. And so that's an absurd take. Do you believe the referee when he says that? Do you believe he didn't hear it? Or do you think that he's just trying to defend himself? Like, what do you think actually happened there?
I don't know. It's not. To be honest, Ariel, it's not up to me. I'm disappointed, like I said, but I'm not bitter. I can't like judge anybody. If somebody says that, yeah, we have to believe them, right, on their word, or we have to put them on like a polygraph and put them on a negotiation. But whatever, somebody says it like he didn't hear it or whatever, like, yeah, maybe he didn't. I don't know, but still, there is room and there's a possibility, if he reviews himself, that he can say like, yeah, you guys are right, I made a mistake. And that's a fair point. That can happen. We are human. Everybody is human. We can, and there's always room for mistakes. But admit those mistakes, apologize, and let's continue from there. That's all you can do. I'm not going to sit here and be angry at the whole world and like, oh, yes, but I could have done this and I could have done that. Yeah, like I said, there is no what if. This is what happened. So let's talk about that and let's continue it from there. And let's go for the rematch, because I'm ready for that. I'm excited about the rematch. It's going to get even more eyeballs than it did this time.
Okay, so I'll ask you about that in a moment. I'm just curious, seeing the scorecards and seeing that stoppage, is there any part of you that feels a little dirty in that you weren't fighting a fair fight? Do you feel like there was some force out there that was never going to allow you to win because, as they say, you can't just walk in and beat the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? Does that make you feel a little bit uneasy because it seems like there were two forces against you here?
No, like I said, it's like, I think it was viewed through a very boxing protective lens, and that is maybe something that we can talk about. like in general, and that's also one of the reasons, like I said, why we appealed it. And all they can say is like, hey, Rico, we apologize. We should have done better. We made a mistake, and that's all you can ask for, right? It's like, yeah, you can sit here, be angry, and waste all your energy on that, but it's like, it's not gonna change anything. It's not gonna change the outcome. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna make me feel better. So, yeah, it is what it is, actually.
And so you say you appealed it. So you appealed it to the WBC. Like, what does that process look like? And when do you find out if they'll do anything as a result of it?
Yeah, so we appealed it to the, let me double check, what is it called? The Middle East Professional Boxing Commission. So that's what we appealed it at. And so I don't know. Like I said, that's all we did, and they have to review it and they have to come back with how they see it. So let's see what happens.
And you just said, and I saw you posted as well, you want to rematch it. If I were to ask you your top choice in the aftermath of this, is it a rematch? Is that what you would like?
100%. I would love that. But like I said, it's not up to me. Like, to be honest, I've just been loving what His Excellency Turki Usyk has been doing for combat sports in general. He's like really putting it on the map, and he's thinking outside of the box. He's putting other fighters against each other, and he's just like pushing the boundaries and pushing the limits on every angle and every possible way, creating a boxing event in Madison Square Garden, putting a boxing ring in front of the pyramids. It's been insane, and I think it's super next level. So, like I said, I think sky's the limit for where we can go from here. But there's like now I said, it's just, there's so many interest from all kinds of ways and all kinds of possibilities and all kinds of people that are approaching us with everything. So, but like, of course, they gave me the opportunity first, so that's where we're looking at now. And yeah, let's see what the future holds for us.
Have they talked to you about what's next yet? Have they reached out to you yet?
Yeah, of course.
And what kind of sense, what can you tell us about what they're thinking? Because they did bring Caballel into the ring, and he obviously wants a shot at the belt as well. And so what sense are you getting from them?
No, so like it's still open. So we're still like in like premature talks. So it's just more like hey, how are you feeling? And we were so happy with you, and you did amazing, and nobody expected this. The whole world is talking about it. So thank you for that. And all I said is like, I told you so. I told you so. So, and especially like Jason is also going through the roof. He's been crazy. He's been calling me almost every day, like about how excited he was and how super like I said, excited he is about what he saw and what he already knew. He's like, I knew you were gonna do this. You proved everything to me and to the world, because I knew you were gonna outclass everybody. So that's been amazing.
Do you feel, I have a sense for what you're going to say, but do you feel that your stock has now risen, that people are now viewing Rico in a different light?
100%. Because the funny thing was, like you just said, is there was such a big opinion on Rico, and who is this guy? We don't know him. He just had one professional boxing fight. He's a kickboxer. Who is he? They know the name now, and they know what we're capable of. So do not ever judge a book by its cover. And also for everybody that's watching, for all the fans that are watching, and people that have a dream that are watching, there's only one person that has to believe in your dream, and that is you. And nobody else. You can have so many naysayers and people that do not believe in what your dream is and what you want to accomplish in life, but you're the one that needs to put in the work and have fun with it, and just prove them wrong. That's all you got to do. Just prove them wrong, and do it with a big smile, and do it with humility. That's all you got to do. And then all you can say is like, I told you so. You guys might not believe it, but I've believed it all my life. That's why we're here.
Throughout the night and throughout the fight and in the aftermath, Jake Paul was very vocal, thinking that you got screwed and that you should have won. And then Francis Ngannou tweeted that, he'd like to fight you, and Jake kind of backed that up. And I know that this was on the table for the Netflix card, the MVP card. To be clear, this is what Francis tweeted when Jake tweeted that. What is your response to Francis and Jake? Are you interested in exploring this?
Like I said, there's so many things coming my way right now. So I'm just slowly looking at everything, reviewing everything. So let's see what happens. But like I said, I'm to be honest, I'm looking at the rematch. I'm looking at the rematch first because I think that's the fight that the people want to see. But let's see what's on the table.
Have they reached out to you yet, MVP?
Like I said, everybody's been reaching out. They're just like one of the people and one of the opportunities that we've got. It's been massive. It's been crazy, but we're just taking it one day at a time, just still letting all the dust settle, because it's been crazy, Ariel. Like I said, nobody expected this to happen except for us. And it did happen, so we're super thankful that we got the opportunity to show this to the world. And now we're just gonna slowly take it day by day, step by step, and see what's next.
And also, just curious, are you contractually tied to anyone, or are you free to talk to anyone, work with anyone? Was there any sort of provision to taking this fight that you have to then take your next fight with them, or are you free to do whatever you want at this point? Are you truly a free agent?
Yeah, I'm a free agent, so
Wow.
it was just a one fight deal. But they definitely showed already before this fight that they wanted to do more. And then with them, I'm talking about the Riyadh season group and His Excellency. So, like I said, we're in talks with them and see what the future will hold for us. But there are more offers and everything on the table, and people that are talking to us and sending us offers and asking hey, what can we do? Can we do this? Can we do that? So like I said, we're just slowly reviewing and enjoying the position that we're in, because the Rico stock is through the roof.
Would it be fair to say, though, given your success, boxing right now probably interests you the most because you want to see just how far you can take this, how much you can build off of this?
Oh, 100%. 100%, because I think I believe that I showed I can be one of the best boxers in the world.
I mean, I think you very clearly showed that, and you shocked a lot of people, and it must be fun to be in that position. You were the top dog for so long. Kind of being the underdog for a little bit is fun. It's different, right?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun because nobody expected it except for us, because we knew if we were going to do this, when we were going to do this, everybody's wondering, maybe we took this thing a little bit too lightly. So that was a good thing. That was a good position to be in, but it was only there for a short amount of time, because now we're there. If you look on my Instagram, I make fun of it anyway. I'm like, where did Rico get his tactics from and his movement? And it made this funny Jim Carrey, and I'm enjoying myself. It's so much fun.
You are putting out a master class on how to deal with these situations on the highest of levels. And for those that have been watching you, following you, covering you, we aren't surprised, but there was such a massive spotlight on you. It's really amazing to see you handle all of this with so much class and grace, like I said, and a big smile on your face. I did want to ask you, and I promise I'll let you go in a moment, but you posted something at the beginning of the week, of you standing in front of the pyramids, and then a photo of your late mother, who unfortunately passed away. And again, we send our condolences to you and your family in the exact same spot. To feel that, to start the week with something like that, and to perhaps have her presence there in this most unique location, right? This is not your typical location. Can you tell us when you realized that you had this photo of her and how it felt for you to recreate that?
Yeah, it was basically it was just hard. I don't know why, but for some kind of reason, when I have the highest highs in my life, for some kind of reason, during that time, the deepest lows come around the corner as well. And that happened with me knowing that I was going to face the very best for the title, and we're going to do it in Egypt. So that, there was a really special moment for me. And then this happened, and it was like a really deep low. And then me and my sister cleaning out my mother's house and coming by these pictures with my mom standing in front of the pyramids. I was like, wow, this is insane. It, like I said in multiple interviews, this felt like a full circle. Like everything came together. She was there, like for the last years. She couldn't make it to my fights, and now I was just feeling like she was there. She was protecting me. She was supporting me with everything she had, and she was there with me. So it was such a special moment for me being there at that exact same spot where she was 30 years prior. Just like I said, I feel blessed and thankful to have gotten that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it was amazing to see, and I can't imagine what you were going through before one of the biggest fights and nights of your life. Can I also ask you about the gloves that you were wearing? They were somewhat unique. Can you tell us about them and the process of getting them approved?
Yeah. So my trainer Dennis, he has his own boxing brand, boxing and kickboxing brand. So he has gloves, he has all the equipment, etc. It's called Super Pro Boxing Gear, and yeah, of course we went through the normal process of getting gloves approved. But first we started like, this is probably not possible, so it's gonna be hard. And yeah, let's just take one of the brands that are already licensed. But then I said like, I would love to wear this brand because those are the gloves I train with. Those are the gloves I always use on a daily basis. So I would love it. At least let us try. Let's see what happens. So we got the process going. We sent the gloves over to Mexico, to the WBC and everybody, and they sanctioned it. So they approved it. They tested them, and everybody looked at them. Even Team Usyk checked the gloves. So everybody was like happy with the weight. Everything was the padding. Everything was exactly according to the rules. So I was super happy with that. And yeah, of course, Dennis also. So it was amazing.
I love that. And did you happen to hear from Tom Aspinall after the fight?
Yeah, I got text and everything, but I didn't have the time to reply to everybody yet. So like I'm taking this week to slowly like check in and call everybody, but everybody was like super supportive and like literally like from all angles, all over the world, from friends, from actors, from combat sport legends to like I don't know, everybody reached out through DM, WhatsApp, calling me, and I'm slowly like trying to catch up on everybody.
And you've got a wedding to plan, right? Aren't you getting married this summer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Your fiance probably has had a lot on her plate in planning this as you're getting ready for the fight, right?
100%. Like these last. So let's say like 6 months I've been in training camp. So first for the AJ fight, and then after that for the Usyk fight. But before that, I was another like 7 to 8 weeks in London for the movie Roadhouse, which we talked about.
Yes.
So it's been a roller coaster. So she's like, hey, can I have you for like a little bit now? said, oh, I'm trying, babe. I'm trying. I said, this week I'm gonna do like media. I'm gonna be all over the place. I'm going to London as well this week because I have a bunch of media there. But after that, I'm fully committed. I'm fully yours. So it's been crazy, but she's really supportive and yeah, happy and excited that everything is going our way.
And so, considering that, when do you think we see you again?
I have no clue.
When would you like to fight again? Like, would you like another fight this year? Because you're going to get married in the
100%.
summer. You're not going to fight in the summer.
100%. No, I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited. So let's see what what's on the table. But I'm definitely ready and excited to jump into this beautiful boxing adventure again.
It feels like if there was any chance of you returning to kickboxing, that's done now, right? With all these opportunities, you've been there.
Yeah,
done
to be honest, I think that chapter of the book is over. You know, we did it all, and I don't really believe that there is anything that wasn't done there. But now when we're talking about it, like, how cool would it be, like, if we would have like a crazy boxer that would say, like, hey, let's do one boxing match and let's do one kickboxing match. Like, I don't know, let's Leon, I don't know, the everything's possible these days. So especially with everybody thinking so far outside of the box, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Last thing for you, Rico, and again, thank you so much for the time. This has been amazing. I was so, I don't know, I don't even think proud is the right word. I shouldn't, like, but man, I just feel you're such a good person, and you've always been such a class act, and to see you rise to the occasion, watching that, like, I was swelling, and then I felt like everyone who's ever supported you or watched you had their hearts taken out because it was just so wrong. If you would have gotten knocked out, you would have gotten knocked out. That's the sport. It happens. But for it to transpire like that, and then the salt in the wound of the scorecards, it was like, what is happening here? Can I just ask you before I let you go, what would you like to say to perhaps the minority, the vocal minority who did back you, who did try to tell the boxing community? And I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about your kickboxing fans, your loyal supporters, the Dutch fans who filled those stadiums, who watched all of your glory fights, who were trying to tell them, like, this guy isn't a joke. You may not know who he is, but he's actually the greatest of all time. What do you want to say to those people who are backing you?
No, guys, it's just like, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. I've always said it, and also the people around me, my team, and the fans that have been supporting, and also the new fans that are here now, the boxing fans that first maybe were like naysayers or didn't really believe it. Also welcome, and thank you guys as well for what you guys did, because believe me, that was just like oil on the fire. So I was like, that just fueled me. And the only thing I can say is that I'm like the living proof of have a dream, follow that, work hard, and do it with a smile. And even now, even though like officially maybe I didn't win, but like I feel like I'm the uncrowned king.
Yes.
I'm still here with a smile. I'm still here being humble to everybody, even the people that didn't support me, and people that do support me and always have supported me. Just do everything with a smile. There's so much negativity in the world, and so much people being angry at other people, and for whatever reason, I don't know, but it's just a waste of energy. We all have, like, let's say, our energy bars at 100% when we wake up. And when you wake up and you're angry at somebody or at the world or whatever, bzz, that energy bar goes down, and there's only 10, 20, or 30% of energy of your daily energy gone by you just being angry. And that energy you can put in positive and good things. So please keep doing that. Keep focusing on the positive, because I truly believe when you do that, you're in the positive universal circle, and positive things will keep coming your way. But that works the same way on the other side, in the negative circle. You keep being negative, and the universe is gonna give you even more negative things to work with. So again, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. Appreciate you, Ariel, for always taking the time to talk to me. Always supporting me, of course. Also in this, you are really vocal about your opinion, like you always are. So thank you for that support. Appreciate that. And yeah, let's just keep pushing the Rico brand to the next level.
Congratulations, Rico. Unbelievable what you did. You should be extremely proud. It was amazing to watch. I'm sorry it ended up that way, but love to see the silver lining approach that you're taking, and I expect nothing less from you. So well done. Hold your head high, and I can't wait to see all the fun things that are going to come your way as a result. Well done. Thank you again for coming on. Really, really appreciate it.
Good, Jeff. See you next time.
There he is, the great Rico Verhoeven. As he said, uncrowned king of kickboxing, uncrowned king of boxing. And of course, uncrowned king of kickboxing because he vacated the title. He walked away from Glory. And it was cool to see the Glory's social media account backing him up, supporting him, showing him love in the aftermath. That was nice, despite the fact that they parted ways. Look at that. Justice for Rico. Love that. It was great, man. It was really great. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, you can harp on the time. Trust me. I was standing there at my kid's soccer game. It was pouring rain. I was like, guys, come on, please. I actually felt for Ade, Tony, and Alistair tremendously because you could tell that they were just trying their hardest. And in those moments, you don't really quite know how it's all going to play. Like, when are they actually going to walk? You're just waiting for a producer to tell you in your ear something. Believe it or not, they are wearing IFBs. And someone is telling them something, and they're telling them to stretch, or they're telling them to keep talking. It's not on them. It's definitely not on them. So don't blame those guys. And it actually very rarely... I don't know. In this case, I don't know what was going on because it was pay-per-view. It's different when it's not pay-per-view, but nevertheless, that's not the story. That's going to be a constant. The story is Rico Verhoeven rising to the occasion, shocking the vast majority of the public, and yeah, and getting robbed and getting screwed. It was a disgraceful stoppage. That's how I felt on Saturday, and I still feel that way. It was a disgraceful stoppage, and the scorecards were disgraceful as well. They really were. It's not right. And you never want to watch something. We've talked about this in the past. You never want to watch something and feel like you were taken for a ride. And to be very clear, I am not suggesting that any of the promoters or anything like that were involved, but you know, it could be as simple as those judges, those referees were like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. That could be it. It's not always as deep as like someone was paid off. But that stoppage and those scorecards were not right. They were not just. That was a disgrace. And if it would have gone the distance and he would have lost because of that knockdown in the 11th, I would have felt the same way. And as I said, a referee should never stop a fight based on how much time is left. Oh, there's a minute left, I'm going to stop it. Or, oh, there's a second left, I'm not going to stop it. No, you stop it when you think the fight should be stopped. And there was a very famous fight, Meldrick Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez. These things happen. These things happen. 1 second left in the fight. Not in the round, not in the 11th or 10th, in the fight, in the 12th, I believe it was back then. 15th maybe? Definitely a second left in the fight. Great legendary nights on HBO about that. These things happen. But the point is, the referee, in this case, stopped it after the bell, and even the stoppage in a silo, in a vacuum, was a bad stoppage. If there was 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the round, I don't think that stoppage was right. Anyway, you don't want to hear me wax on and on and on about this. I want to speak to Rico's head coach. The great Peter Fury is here. We've heard Rico talk about him. We've heard Tom Aspinall talk about him. We've heard Andy Aspinall talk about him. What a great honor it is to be joined by the man who guided Rico from this, journey, kickboxer to boxer, and then put together that game plan and almost shocked the world, and in my opinion, won that fight. If it ended in that 11th round, they should have won that fight. Peter Fury, kind enough to join us right here now to talk about it all on this Tuesday afternoon. Hello, Peter. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
I'm good, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on. And nice to meet you as well.
Yes, so great to meet you. And obviously, I've heard so much about you. It's a real honor to have you on, especially after that moment. And so I'll ask you the same question that I asked Rico, who was just on moments ago, at the very beginning of our interview. 2 days later, or 3 days now, how do you feel about what transpired on Saturday? He told us, just to be clear, he's on cloud nine. And I wasn't sure if he was going to say, I'm heartbroken, I'm distraught, or cloud nine. So how are you feeling about what transpired on Saturday?
I feel fine. We're in a sport, and a sport is what we're in. So anything can happen in there, especially in the heavyweight division. So, it is what it is. It was a very good fight. He brought it. Usyk done very well for me to stay in there and fight back. It's people don't see what I see and what was actually going on in there. And believe me, Rico is a big force. He's a force to be reckoned with. So it was amazing from him. It really was. So I'm happy. Like I say, we're very proud of him, what he's achieved. It's unfortunate about the referee and the scorecards, but, let's not forget the 11th round, Usyk hit him with an incredible uppercut. And it changed the context of the fight. But up until then, he was doing marvelous.
When Rico came to you with this idea that he was going to do this, he was going to pursue this, and eventually it happens, could you tell us truthfully, how did you feel? Did you feel like this was crazy? Did you feel like it was a bit too much? Like, it was one thing to fight AJ, who isn't quite at the level at this point as Usyk. It's another to fight Oleksandr Usyk, top pound for pound in the world and the heavyweight champion. How did you feel at the very beginning of this journey?
I just felt uncomfortable. I've known Rico and Dennis for 15 years, and I know what he can do. And with him being an undisputed kickboxing champion and had 90-odd professional fights, and this guy's been fighting from the age of 6, plus add to the fact that he's a super athlete, I genuinely believed, which has come to be true as well, that I could transform him, and give him a new style. Because everything we've done over the years has been for his kickboxing. I've just been the coach what's helping him with his hands to punch. But as you know, kickboxers, they stand square, they lean on the back leg, to get the front foot up. It's a totally different sport, different dynamics. But we worked on his hands quite a lot over the years. So we've always had, I would say, we've had a beautiful relationship over the years. He's very, very close to me. All of his team are. And this was a great team effort. And I can't thank his team, Dennis, all of the team, for putting everything on hand for me to just let me concentrate and do what I do. And it was, and to have Rico responding to everything that we're doing, this guy needs so much credit because he is so professional, hard-working and dedicated. It's on another level, really isn't. And what he done for me in the sparring, the way he was coming on, and not just that, but believe in the process when it didn't seem possible. So I can't credit him enough, and I'm thankful. The fight went how it did. He was very competitive in it, and he put on a marvelous display. So I'm absolutely over the moon.
I'm fascinated by that task that you had of transitioning him from a kickboxer to a boxer from a technical standpoint. Can you tell us, in the early days, what was the most difficult part? Because this is a guy who is so ingrained in his ways, as you say, started when he was 6 years old, and he was the very best, in many people's eyes, the greatest of all time. And now you're trying to change habits in order to fight the current best. And so what were those difficult tasks that you were faced with?
Well, mainly the squareness, square on, not to the side, leaning back on the back leg, always boxing off the back foot. Stuff like this, very hittable in pro boxing. In pro boxing, that kickboxing stance at this level and fighting Usyk as well, he would have had no defense. And you can't lean back, when you're not using your legs. It's not ideal. So it limited It limited his movement, his speed, and everything else. So there was a lot to work on, Plus the rotations, the twisting of the body, also the head movement, all stuff that Rico's never done before. So he had to be, I said on an interview the other day, it's almost like we had to take an hammer and smash every bone in his body and rebuild him. But we had 6 months, and this is what happens when you've got a super athlete, you got somebody who's dedicated, believes in himself, and loves a challenge. Because he was fighting Usyk and everybody wrote him off, he loved it even more. So this is what I mean with the mentality. He's an ideal person to train, and he took to it like a fish to water. He loves boxing, and that's what he really wanted to do. So, yeah, it come together. He done terrific, and yeah, it was brilliant to see.
I loved seeing the sort of transformation in real time. Just his stance, the way he was sort of hunched over, the head down. It was a different kind of look to what we've seen from him in the past. And can I ask you about that in terms of the game plan, in terms of what you thought would be best against Usyk? Why did you have him look the way in which he did, which clearly worked?
Well, look, the idea, we keep circling, keep on the outside of his front foot, and do the switching up on the way in, hands up, rotating, and also when you're leaning over the front foot like that, it takes away Usyk's body shots. So you got to give Usyk maximum credit because Rico never proposed any openings. He looked like he's in front of him, but he's not. You look where his feet are; he's on the outer side, which means he's taking away Usyk's jab, he's taking away the hook, and he's taking away a lot of the stuff. So, it's very technical to explain, but the style that we give him, we knew suited him, because also when you're leaning forward, he puts extra length on his punches. So it's very deceiving. He looks like he's out of range, but he's in it because he's on the front foot. So all these things that we look at, and a lot of heavyweights throw big power shots. So to throw power shots, that means you've got to set your feet slow. This wasn't about power shots. This is about going light, going in, and finding your range, and then putting your shots together, nice and relaxed. So that was another big thing, getting him to relax, because kickboxing, it's tense, it's brutal. And we know boxing, it's finesse, it's an art. So this is why all these things had to be implemented. And it took time. It took 6 months.
To be very clear, what do you think of the stoppage?
I thought he hit him with a very good shot, Oleksandr Usyk, and he genuinely went down. But he got up. I think there was punches going. When I say punches ain't landing, it was going against, a lot of it was going against the gloves. So, and he threw a punch back. He was on his feet, and I didn't realize the bell had ended then, but the bell had ended. So the thing is, what he should have done, he should have sent him back to his corner, because he's not, this is a guy that's in a competitive fight here for the championship of the world. And the thing is, he's on his feet, the bell's gone, send him back to the corner. He's not taking a beating where this guy's going to get brain damage. He's on his feet and he fired back. So he fired a right hand and he missed. But he's there. You seen when he was stopped, what he said to the referee, he was coherent at all times. And even at the end of it, what I found tells you the type of man Rico is, because he said at the end when I was talking to him in the ring, he said, look, I don't like this. I'd rather go out on my shield. And that's the type of man he is. So what's happened is, yes, it's a mistake. What the referee done is wrong. It's totally wrong what he done. But accidents do happen. It's human error. I'm not going to go into no conspiracy theories, because I spoke to the referee and he told me that he didn't hear the bell. But it was at the end of the round anyway. I just think it was totally wrong, the stoppage. And if he'd have went out, he'd have either got through the 12th round and it would have went to points, or Usyk would have had a clean knockout. That's what should have happened. So, but Usyk's been robbed of that, and Rico's been robbed of the chance of seeing the final bell, because we've got a third man in the ring that's interfering in a world title fight, which is highly competitive. He's gone down and he's got up and he's defending himself. and the bell's gone, and he's still defending himself. So it was it's a bad call, but it is what it is.
I saw you tell IFL TV that you saw the referee Mark Lyson at the airport, and you went up to him. Can I ask you about that interaction? You recognized him, and you just walked up to him and said, "What was your side of the story? Tell me how this all went down."
Well, yes, exactly, because I know Mark Lyson. I've seen him before. Look, been in boxing a long time. We all know each other. The referees, boxing board of control, we all know each other. So there's no unfriendliness. I just walked over and I said, Mark, I said, what happened in there? I said, because, can you explain? And he just looked at me. He said, well, I done my best at the time, or something to this effect. And I said, but yeah, I said, it was wrong. I said, because the bell had already gone. I said, he was on his feet. I said, he was fighting back. I said, you've jumped in. I said, why did you not send him to the corner? I never really got an answer off him for any of that. But when I asked him something else, and I mentioned about, well, why did you do it after the bell? And he said, Peter, I never heard the bell. And to be honest, to give him the credit, I did not hear the bell myself. So that was the start and the end of the conversation, actually. He never said anything further. But I shook his hand. I said, there's no hard feelings. I said, and mistakes happen. And that's it, I want to believe the best in people. I don't want to look at what could be and what could not be. It's tragic. It was definitely the wrong thing to do. That's a fact. Because it's caused a lot of controversy when it was a great fight. And, it takes away some limelight off what Usyk had to deal with as well. So, yeah, it got messy through somebody else's mistake.
He sounds like a good guy. People have spoken about him. And so that's a human error. And as you say, you were there. And if you yourself didn't hear the bell, then I'd like to believe him. What almost is more unsettling to me are the scorecards, because that's like a systematic, that's not like one snap decision. That's a consistent look at the fight and seeing something different than the rest of us. When you saw those scorecards and that two judges had it tied going into the 11th, how did you feel?
To be honest, Ariel, I've not watched it back. I need to watch it back because I was more concentrated on what I was doing with Rico when he come back to the corner and the stuff he was working on. See, don't forget, Rico is a former kickboxer, so he had to be kept to the plan, not drift off it. So that was my main concern, is keeping him on the move, keeping his head moving, and keeping to the process. So the scoring, the actual looking at it and scoring it and seeing who's winning and who's not, I knew it was very competitive. But at the time when I'm looking at it, for me to think we're up on the scorecards, that's a luxury. That's a luxury I don't look at. So I never really examined it, but I will watch it back and see. But scores are subjective. I think what the referee ended up doing, plus the scores, it doesn't give a good light on the sport. But we are where we are. He's don't forget, this was Usyk's show. It was all about Oleksandr Usyk. Rico Verhoeven wasn't given a prayer in there by anybody. So the thing is, it was. I think a lot of these governing bodies, they always go for the champion, no matter what, and they want the champion to retain that belt under any circumstances. So there is usually there's bias there, but you can expect in world level boxing this is the case because they're always going to favour the champion.
And so one could say that this was a black eye, the way it ended, but I would also argue that there's a great silver lining here for Rico because now it feels like he's the people's champion, right? Now he becomes a very sympathetic figure that people, if you didn't know about him, you're like, this guy was wrong. That we always love to back someone who we feel is an underdog who was wrong. Do you view it that way as well? Do you think that his stock is now even greater and there's greater interest in your guy's fighting career?
I would like to see Rico's stock risen for his achievement in there, not through the controversy. Because what he gave, the kind of a boxing match he gave to Oleksandr Usyk has never been done like that before. It was Usyk's hardest fight, and Rico gave him his hardest tussle to date. It was absolutely a fabulous performance, and we can go on about game plans and we can talk about all this, but if the guy is not capable of doing it, then your game plan's up in smoke. So he needs all the credit in the world for doing what I asked of him, keeping to the plan. And I'm so proud of him, what he did. And, and I want people to get behind him for being a world-level athlete. He's already a super undisputed world champion in his own sport. And to do what he done with Oleksandr Usyk is just short of, it's not a miracle, but it's amazing what he did. He took punches, he gave them back. He didn't panic under pressure. He was in the fight. Nothing fazed him. He was coming forward, and he was happy. So I'm very happy with his performance.
I've heard people say that, and they said the same thing about Tyson when he fought Francis. He didn't take the opponent seriously. Usyk was a little bit bigger. We had Hamzah Sheeraz on the show. Oh, he took him lightly. He was a little bit bigger. And now I've heard other people say, I think including yourself, say like, look, he was bigger because he was fighting a bigger guy. And so he wanted to put on that extra muscle. Do you think, and I know that's sort of, I understand it's unfair to you to ask this question because it's asking you to answer on his team's behalf. But based on what you saw from him, not only his physique, but the fighting as well, do you think that he took the challenge lightly, that he didn't give the Rico challenge the respect that it deserved in the training?
Absolutely not. I know Team Rico and I know people.
Team Usyk, you mean, right?
Team Usyk, yeah, sorry. And I know him very well. I've got the height of respect for him. And I can assure you, Oleksandr Usyk trained for this the same as he's trained for all of his other fights. He's had the same amount of time. He's had good sparring. And he knew what was ahead of him. Don't forget, he thought he was coming in with a guy around 120 plus kilos. That's a lot of weight. And he knows how good Rico is. Don't forget, he was asked a question, is Dubois an harder fight than Rico? What's your opinion? He said, no, Rico's going to be more difficult. So he's a magician in his thought process. He analyzes everything. And Usyk is not a man to be caught cold. He's not a man to be caught unawares. I was only speaking to Russ Amber in the fight week. He was a very good friend of mine. And he said, Peter, Usyk's unbelievable. He said, if he was literally fighting a bin man or somebody, a postman or whatever, he would train like a Trojan for that fight because he's always wary of the unexpected. So the extra pounds was put on because it helps you absorb body shots. It makes you a little bit stronger to absorb the punishment. And what he done was very calculated. And I'm not going to take anything away from Oleksandr Usyk because I know heavyweight boxing. And I know what it takes to get in there. And what Rico was doing was putting Usyk under immense pressure. If Usyk hadn't been in fantastic, phenomenal shape and prepared like he had, he wouldn't have made it because Rico would have got to him. Because the pace Rico set, that sheer body weight, getting in clinches, roughing him up, and Alexander to withhold his momentum and still be there in the 11th round, still throwing punches and still be strong after taking a lot of punches, how can anybody sit there in the right mind and say, he took this fight lightly? They don't know boxing if they're doing that. And I am not speaking for Team Usyk. Speak to them yourself, and they'll tell you exactly the same thing. Oleksandr Usyk doesn't take anybody lightly. When he has a fight, he signs up for it, he goes into camp, locks himself away, and he dedicates like nobody. That's why he's such a great 3 times undisputed world champion. Guys like this, especially where he's from, don't take the foot off the gas, period.
Rico told us earlier that if it was up to him, he would love the rematch. That's his desire. Do you share that sentiment?
100% I do, because it'd be nice for them to get it back on. I think Usyk will feel he's to himself, I've been robbed of a knockout. It was there on a plate for me. If he'd have come out, I'd have probably got to him, especially with the controversy, what's going on around it. Rico feels like, he made a rick in there in the 11th round, which he didn't need to make. That's another story. So, I would like to see the fight happening. So hopefully they can get it back on, because we'd be all for that fight again, no problem at all.
One thing that I raised, and I'm wondering if you agree or disagree, I think the element of surprise when we have a lot of these crossover fights, the way Conor looked in the early rounds against Floyd, the way Francis looked against Tyson, the way Rico looked against Usyk, there's something, that the other side can't game plan for because there isn't a lot of footage on who these people are as boxers. And then we saw what happened when Francis fought AJ in his second fight. He got knocked out in the second round. Do you think that it then makes the task even harder because now there's 11 rounds on your guy and they're able to game plan a little bit more?
Well, this game at world level is all about IQ. So we factor in what's going to happen. I factor in what the opponent's going to think about. I factor in what he's looking at, and I factor in what he'll think in the second time around. Rico Verhoeven is not a one-hit wonder. That's number one. Secondly, he's going to do even better in the next one, whether it be against Usyk or anyone else, because all as Rico was lacking was ring experience, the 12 rounds, the pace, and just a few little minor things like that. How to conserve energy in the round, just like minute things, but minute things are big things. So we will work on all these shortcomings. Then there's not many of them, but I will work on them with Rico. I know what they are, and I will work on it. And every fight is different. Every game plan is different for every individual. So he's not a one-hit wonder, and you're going to see him out again soon, and he's going to do another spectacular performance because he's Rico Verhoeven. He's not like anybody else.
I love that. Can I also ask you, the Aspinalls speak so very highly of you. Andy Aspinall, I spoke to him over the weekend, Tom as well. They were so happy for you and just were glowing about the work that you did with Rico and your friendship, Andy in particular. And so could I ask you about Tom, your perspective on Tom? And, there's this idea that Tom at some point is going to try his hand at boxing. And how do you think he would do if he decided to go that route?
Well, I've known Tom and his dad. I've known him from a young lad again. He had one pro fight with me, and I think from maybe 2015 or something. I can't remember the exact times. But he was in the gym with us in Bolton in England. And he spent 2 or 3 years with us training, and he really developed his boxing skills with us. So I regard Andy Aspinall and Tom Aspinall as part of my team because they are. He done a lot with me, Tom and his dad, back in the day. We were probably 3 or 4 years together. So he, like I just said, he had one pro fight with me as well. So he developed his boxing skills. So we've always had a good relationship. His father's an exceptional trainer in the MMA. He knows that. Wrestling, better than anybody, I would say. He's top of the draw, and such a great guy as well, genuine. And the thing is, I only spoke to him earlier on today. I was on the phone to Andy for about an hour, talking about all this and one thing and another. So we're all one team. So you got myself, you've got Dennis, you've got Dennis Crowell, there's Rico and his team there, and then you've got Andy Aspinall, Tom Aspinall. They're all around. They've all been around me at certain periods of their careers. So, I'm pleased to see what Tom Aspinall's done. Tom Aspinall's got super fast hands. He's quick. He's agile. For a man at 18 and a half stone, whatever that is in kilos, maybe 116, he is, 117 kilograms. The speed and the way he moves is phenomenal. So could he do something in boxing? Yeah. It's probably a similar story to Rico, really. He could definitely do the transition because they've all been around me for years in boxing. They know the game because they know me and we've had conversations for hours on end. They know the sport. They know this game because, we've all been around each other for years. So yes, the transition for Tom Aspinall will be pretty easy. And do I think he can do big things? Yeah, for sure.
I have loved having you on. I'd be remiss before I let you go if I don't ask you, just because it came out today. There's a report that Tyson's going to take another fight. And I know you don't work with him anymore before this AJ fight, perhaps in Ireland. How do you feel about the way in which this is all playing out, these sort of tune-up fights before the big one, sort of tempting fate, it feels like, because we're so close. How do you feel about this? Do you think this is a good idea?
I think what I think with all these heavyweights, what they need to do to suit themselves, they must do. Their teams know what their fighters are. They know what they're about, and they must feel they need to tune up, and that's great. It's if they feel they've had a time out or things has happened in their life and they need more fights, so be it. So as long as they box at their maximum potential, then it's better for everybody. It's better for the public. We see a better fight, and not just turning up for the money. So it's all good. It's good for them. Every boxer is different than another fighter, so it's whatever suits them, where they need to be feeling better mentally. Because I've always said boxing, it's not physical. The physicality is only part of it. The brain, mental side of it is immense. So if that fighter's got to get himself in a comfortable mindset, and to do that, if you need more fights, then so be it.
What a weekend for you and your family. I do believe you welcomed a granddaughter to this world. I think the day you landed back home.
Ariel, she was a week over. And, my son Joseph, his wife Storm, I'm so happy. And there's my beautiful grandson in my arms. This is what life's about. I'm a man. I love Jesus Christ. I'm a very passionate about my faith, and I'm all about family. And to see that and come home to a beautiful little girl, and part of my family is the most beautiful gift I could possibly have in the world. So boxing is my passion. I do that anyway. But to see my children have beautiful children, and it's a part of me, and it's a future and everything else, it truly is a gift. I'm absolutely delighted. It was the best present to come home to after all the hard work in 6 months. That's the pinnacle for me, my new granddaughter. I am over the moon.
How many grandkids now for you?
I've got 6 at the moment, but I've got still a fair few unmarried. And I've told them to get married. I said, because I need you to get me around 100 grandkids, because the more I can get, the better.
Amazing. Well, enjoy those 6 for now. I hope everyone's feeling good. Baby, mom, everyone. Congratulations on that. That's most important, no doubt about that. And congratulations to you and the team on what you did with Rico. It was so much fun. We've been watching Rico, covering him, talking about him. And so to see the disrespect, honestly, that he was receiving in the build-up to this fight was a little bit upsetting and baffling. But then to see him rise to the occasion the way in which he did with that performance was really wonderful to see. So congratulations to you and the whole team.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on your show. It's been nice talking to you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Peter. Really appreciate it. All the best to you.
All the very best. Thank you.
There he is, Peter Fury, kind enough to join us, the head man for Rico Verhoeven for this journey into the world of the sweet science. And, it sounds like that journey is going to continue. Because why shouldn't it continue? He's accomplished it all. He's done it all in the world of kickboxing. Nothing to really do there. And there's only one real major promotion out there. And he certainly conquered that one. There is the MMA route, but it feels like he's got something here with the boxing stuff, especially if he gets the Usyk fight. Now, I've seen Frank Warren say they want the Caballel fight. Caballel versus Usyk is the fight that most people think should be next at heavyweight. I'd love to see Itama versus Usyk. Probably not going to happen at any point in the future, in any universe. But, crazier things have happened, just like a Rico Verhoeven versus Oleksandr Usyk fight. So let us see. We do have one more guest today before we'll get to your news and notes. So stay tuned for that. Massive night coming up on Saturday. That is May 30th over at the OVO Arena at Wembley in London, home right next door to Wembley Stadium. I was there just a couple of years ago. Very, very nice part of town. The event is being put on by Boxer. It is airing on BBC, and our old friend Ben Shalom is on to talk to us about that, the future of the promotion and everything going on in his life. He's kind enough to join us right here and now to talk about it all. Hello, Ben. How are you? Good to see you again.
I'm very well. It's been a while.
It has been a while, Ben.
Peter on as well. What a man.
What's that?
I said good to see Peter on as well. What a man.
Legend. Did you see the fight on Saturday?
I did. And to be honest, Peter I've been speaking to Peter about Rico because he actually trains Gradus Kraus as well. Who's another Dutch fighter, a bit of a kickboxing background, someone that, he's 24 years old. We think he's going to go right to the top of the sport. And he was just commenting on how much Rico's been overlooked. Obviously, they've been in camp for literally 6 months. And so we had a show in Rotterdam. Gradus Kraus was fighting on Videoland over there, and I saw Peter, and he said, my word, Rico is, look, he's been training for him a long time, but really picked it up. And so with no surprises, and he's a quality trainer. I think he doesn't sort of lick arse, and he doesn't sort of creep around, so he doesn't always get the opportunities and the fighters that he deserves, but phenomenal trainer, and what a man. And to do what he did with Rico that quickly was, it's a measure of his ability to train fighters.
Just curious, while we're on the topic, what did you think of the stoppage?
Oh, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was crazy. It looked as though it was going to be a very embarrassing night for boxing, and I felt like Rico had to survive one more round, and he'd beaten Oleksandr Usyk. And it's hard to look. A lot of people say it's this and it's that and sort of agendas, but it was just a terrible bit of refereeing, I thought. And look, Rico seems upbeat still, and they've taken it well. But yeah, I would have been absolutely fuming. I don't think I'd have been able to sleep. So, but incredible performance, and Usyk wasn't himself 100%. Whether that's father time or whether that's just underestimating Rico, you don't know. But credit to Rico, because he was pretty special.
And what about those scorecards as well?
Yeah, it was mad. I mean, again, you worry because it always seems to, go in the favor of what's supposed to happen. You never really see it the other way. So, he is the champion and he deserves that status. But yeah, for me, Rico was a clear winner up until the stoppage. He really was. So yeah, it was madness all around. But one thing for sure, there's a new entrant into the heavyweight division. There really is. So exciting to see someone new, definitely, because new names coming into that division is big for the sport.
And just curious, like if it was up to you, would you want to see them run it back, or do you think Usyk should fight Caballel?
Look, I don't think Rico needs it, because I think there's huge fights for him. Obviously, I thought it would be great to see Rico have that fight in Holland. He sells out stadiums, he sells out arenas over there, which is unusual and rare for any heavyweight fighter. So, look, I'd love to see the rematch. It doesn't seem like we're going to get it, but I think Rico's going to be okay. I think he's going to have big fights ahead.
Okay, and last thing on this, what do you think of the event? What do you think of the production, the way it looked? Some people are upset with the time in between the co-main, the Sheeraz fight, and the main event. Just overall, from your perspective, what did you think of it?
I thought it was phenomenal. I've been involved with a lot of events with Turkey, and that one in particular was phenomenal, from execution to idea to everything. So yeah, I can't knock it, to be honest. To pull that off, it must have been extremely expensive. Not sure about the economics, but to pull that off for boxing was special. And as I say, Rico's a huge star. I don't think people realize he is literally like David Beckham in Holland. We did a show there 3 weeks ago, sold out show for Gradus Kraus, and Rico is the man over there. But a phenomenal setting for it, and credit to Turkey, because it really was pretty special.
Okay, so let's transition to you. Saturday night, you have a show headlined by Adam Azim, who's also popular in his own right. There's the poster against Steve Claggett at the OVO Arena, Wembley, in London. And to be 100% clear, is this on BBC Two? Am I right with
this? This is on BBC Two.
Yes.
Those in the States, BBC is obviously the national broadcaster over here.
It's a big deal.
I've been out of boxing for 25 years. We signed a deal with them back in, I think, August, September now. So it's only our fifth show, so it's early days. But the numbers we get are phenomenal, and the opportunity to create household names is massive. I think, to put it into context, boxing's always got that murky sort of taint to it, and maybe in the past has been seen as sort of the ugly sister of the sporting world, and that's probably stopped it being on on the major national network. So I think for BBC to come into boxing says a lot about where the sport is at, says a lot about the opportunity for the fighters, and it gives us a really unique ability, particularly in this country, to create household names. And for me, Adam Azim is one of the biggest talents in world boxing. 23 years old, and fights on Saturday against Steve Claggett. Should have been fighting Gustavo Lamos, who went missing really. But this is his chance. This is his chance to put himself in line for the world title against Delgado, and a massive night for him. And as I say, we'll be expecting over 2 million people in the UK alone to tune in on Saturday night after the Champions League final. And yeah, a massive opportunity.
Yeah, what a slot. Can I ask, I've seen some reports that this is the last fight on your deal with BBC. Is that accurate?
There was reports it was a 4-fight deal, Ariel. So I think if I'm counting, this is already the 5th. So absolutely not. It's very early days, and yeah, we've seen that from the very beginning. It wasn't this show. Apparently, last show was our last show.
Okay, so where do you stand now? Like, how many years of events could you tell us?
We have got the rematch coming up for Simpson Williamson in July, which is a big event over here after the first event. We then got another show in September. We're not going to get into specifics, but this is a multi-show, long-term arrangement with the BBC. And as I say, it's such early days that it's very exciting. It's such a big beast, the BBC. It's almost like an oil tanker, and it takes a while. It's the biggest network. It's the biggest platform that we have in the UK, and they are starting to motor now. And yes, it's an exciting time for us with the BBC.
Did you feel, when you had that moment where you were off Sky and you were looking for that next home, and I think surprised a lot of people when this deal came out, did you feel like a lot of people were celebrating your perceived demise, and then you kind of hit them with the haymaker here?
100%. I mean, it happens, I think, ever since I've come into the sport. Look, it's a closed shop, isn't it? It's a family-run industry. And so it was always difficult. Look, the Sky ending, I think people know, was particularly the last year or two was particularly difficult. We had, members of staff and with Sky staff looking to try and present something to undercut us with our own fighters, and I didn't even know about it until it became obvious. And so that was a really difficult period for us. So it was certainly a period where we had to really find our resolve and be resilient and find a great deal. And thankfully, in a matter of 2 months, we managed to convince the national broadcaster to come back into the sport. So it worked well, but it took rebuilding. And yeah, 100%. As in boxing, it was a difficult period, but one I'm very proud of, and how we recovered.
As you say, like, boxing is a hard sport to penetrate, and you've talked about your issues and whatnot, and you've talked about being boxed out and all this stuff. Do you feel like you have finally found your footing? Do you feel like it is where it needs to be for you guys, or do you still feel like you are fighting that uphill battle?
Listen, it's still early days for me. I think it's unprecedented, probably, what I've done at my age. I think people, obviously, I've been around a while now, but it's an old man sport, and we're definitely still, I feel, at the start of the journey. We've probably got a lot more autonomy now than we used to have as a company in terms of who we sign, who we want to focus on, crossover stars with real potential, to be a mainstream star, to be undisputed is what we're focused on. So we have definitely matured as a business, definitely more independent, but definitely still at very, very early days for us as a business. And yeah, it's exciting what the future will hold.
Are you surprised that Sky eventually got in business with MVP and Zuffa?
Surprised? No, I don't think they have many options. As a British promoter, you do worry about an American business partnering with American promoters to try and disrupt a very sort of a popular sport in this country. And it's always been run by sort of British promoters who understand the history, the heritage, the British titles and everything like that. So I don't think it was surprising because there just weren't many options. But for me, from what I can see, it's the same people. it's the same. It's sort of the same people with just a different banner. I mean, the show that the first show that they've got on in June is almost a regurgitation of what I did many years ago, which I got a lot of stick for. And so, from what I've seen, I think it's being run by a guy called James Whitehall, who I think was involved for the past couple of years, and I think it's very much, in my opinion, maybe a sort of Sky-led project in the UK. But yeah, I mean, it's early days.
How do you feel about what Zuffa has done so far this year?
Again, it's early days. It's so hard to tell, Ariel. Like what
Just like, what's your feel on the product, the signings, what you're seeing from them?
Personally, I think they're going to have to do a massive U-turn for it to work, and I think we're already seeing that. They said there wouldn't be world titles. They said there wouldn't be working with other promoters. Then we saw the sort of legal case against the IBF when the world title wasn't on the line. So I think it's just it is confusing, but ultimately they have a huge backing behind them, huge backing from all different corners, and so money does talk. And eventually, you'd expect them to be a serious promoter, but I do think they will become another promoter. I think. I don't think I think they're gonna. It seems to me like they're already veering towards doing the traditional titles and doing the traditional events. And so, look, it's hard to say at this stage, but it is confusing, the messaging right now. But there's smart people there, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. But my gut, from how I've seen it, is it becomes sort of another traditional promoter, a big promoter, but another one.
As you mentioned at the top, it's been a minute since we last spoke, so I do want to ask you about a few things that have happened since the last time we had a chat. In your opinion, and I phrase it as what went wrong, but perhaps you have a different perspective. What went wrong with Ben Whitaker? Why isn't Ben Whitaker a part of your stable anymore?
I think the promotional video said it all. I think he got offered a huge amount of money to take a risk and upfront money. And that was what drove him. And I think since his activity and the fights that he's taken haven't really moved him anywhere forward. And that's no slight. And I think we did an unbelievable job for him. From when I met him to how we grew his brand and how we focused on him, we did an incredible job. But I think it got to a point, I don't want to talk too much about contractual positions and this and that, but there was a huge financial incentive for him to do that. And it was a short-term decision. And it's a shame, because I think characters like him on a national broadcaster could become household names, and, really household names. And when I look at the Amir Khans and the Tyson Furies and the Anthony Joshuas, do I think he possibly, in the career route he's gone, maybe missed that opportunity to become one of those? Maybe. But yeah, I was definitely hurt by it, and I've seen the Conor Ben stuff that's happened since. I put a lot of personal time into that situation, and more than just from a fighting point of view, and did absolutely everything. So it was definitely disappointing at the time, but it's a harsh lesson of life. It's a harsh lesson of business. Money talks, and ultimately there isn't any loyalty in boxing. It is very much highest bidder wins, and that's it. And it's as simple as that. And I think for me, it was quite a good lesson, a harsh lesson. It was a painful lesson, but definitely a lesson in my career.
I would never dare compare the two relationships, but for it to happen at around the same time as Conor Ben leaving Eddie in Matchroom and seeing how that affected Eddie, what was your perspective on that? Did you feel like that was sort of like an eye for an eye, even though it wasn't you? Were you taking some enjoyment in his pain?
No, I think it just shows that, you hear the propaganda machines around loyalty, and we've got a great relationship and this and that, and almost to the wheels fall off, and you sort of hear all this, and we treat fighters so well, they love working with us. And ultimately, for 90% of people in this industry, they're after one thing. And so it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you've done, It doesn't matter in any situation. That is what's going to happen. So I found it. It's more. And I've spoken about it. I found the reaction surprising because, ultimately we all know what it is, and they've taken great pleasure in doing that to me with Ben. And again, and making it all about the money and trying to talk down on the job I did, which again I could stand by, was absolutely phenomenal. And so it was just shows it can happen to anyone, and it shows that what the sport is all about. And so I have no opinion on that. Deep down, I actually like Eddie.
You do?
We have some fun, like we have some banter. I think he's he is what he is. So I don't take it. It's not a personal thing. I just found it funny at the time, and it sort of says it's just what the sport is ultimately, and it was a good example of it.
What have you made of the banter, so to speak, between Eddie and Dana White?
I have to say, at the start, I felt like Eddie was trying to call it on with Dana just from a profile point of view. I don't think Dana was saying much, and Eddie was trying to reel him in, which he does well. But I think ever since Dana called Eddie out for a fight and then Eddie took it, I found it difficult to. I found that one a difficult thing to watch, because I think ultimately, as childish as it is, if you call out a fight and then it gets called on with you, you've got to take it. And I find it entertaining. But I think, Dana will find boxing's such a different game. It's such a hands-on game. It's such a 24/7 game, and so it's definitely entertaining. But I had to side with Eddie on that one.
Another fighter who you parted ways with recently was Caroline Dubois. I was curious what happened there, and if you have any regret over that.
Not really. I think I love Caroline. She's a great person, and someone that I started with very young. Signed her before her debut, and took her to a world title. And so we had to make a decision, with where we were going in terms of Lauren and Fran and Caroline, and we probably couldn't give everyone what they wanted. So that was difficult, but equally, it's not just her, there's people around her. And as I say, that Sky, when Sky finished, and it will all come out in due course, but there was a lot of fighters and there was a lot of shenanigans going on with fighters that were contracted to us. And as I say, maybe some Sky employees targeting them whilst they're in contract and things like that. And again, that was a result of one of those. And in the end, you have to cut your losses and decide what your priorities are going to be. And that was that. And so Lauren Price and Fran Hennessy, for me, are two females that are absolute crossover stars. And we had to we had to prioritize. And I wish Caroline nothing but the best. I think she is. She's a great person, and as I say, I've known her from very young, so very proud to see the woman that she's become.
You mentioned Lauren Price. Lauren Price, Clarissa Shields, is that a real thing?
It is. There's a few bits and bobs going back and forth around a 2-fight deal and whether there's going to be a rematch and where it's going to be and things like that. The initial fight, the terms have been loosely agreed, and now we're into the details. For me, the biggest fight that we can possibly make in women's boxing. So for me, the first, I've promoted Clarissa quite a few times now, and probably the only fighter, probably the first fighter that I genuinely believe can beat Clarissa Shields, and she really is the greatest of all time. So fingers crossed in the next couple of weeks that gets over the line.
Would the first one be in the UK?
No.
Okay.
First one would be in the US.
Detroit?
Yep.
And it's a 2-fight deal. Who's the one pushing for that? Is that you guys? Or
listen, we being completely candid, we want the opportunity to make that fight in the UK as part of the deal. I think Lauren Price, if you ever come over to a show in the UK and you see how fanatical her fans are in Cardiff, I mean, she's been selling out that arena early stage in her career. Phenomenal viewing figures on the BBC last time out. Olympic gold medalist over here. For me, the potential to emulate what Katie Taylor has done in Ireland. Obviously, Katie hasn't been fortunate yet to fight in Ireland. I think she might soon, and so it's a huge opportunity for Lauren. We think she's a huge star over here, and we want to make sure that she has some major nights, major stadium shows in Cardiff. And so that's probably the sticking point, just candidly right now, is making sure that we can get something over the line that allows her to fulfill her dream of fighting at the stadium in Cardiff.
Can you clarify where things stand with Chris Eubank Jr.? You say he's still contractually tied. He says he's a free agent. Where do things currently stand?
Look, I'm not. I was on Talksport with Simon today, and I said, look, he has got a contract with us, but I have a great relationship with Chris, and I know what Chris. I know him well, and he's always acted independently. And part of the reason that he signed with us was his ability to act independently, and for us to support him on that. We do have a contract with him. We expect to be promoting his next show. And to be honest, until he's back fit and ready to go, I don't think people are too interested. And I just want to make sure that, he next time he gets in the ring, it's at the right way. He's fully fit and focused. And I feel he's still got a lot to give. And fingers crossed that will be this year.
If it was up to you, who would you like to see him in there against?
We have a fight in mind, and we have a fight that we are in negotiations with, and I think it's a perfect fight for Chris. But
who would that be? Come on.
Again, I'm going to let Chris.
You're going to say this. You're going to say this on Talksport tomorrow, and then we're going to get out scooped. And I love those guys. No hard feelings, but here we are.
No. I think. Look, next week I'll be with him, and the news will come soon. But look, main thing is he'll be fighting at 168, and he'll feel fit, and he'll feel healthy, and he's dealt with his health issues, and I believe it will be this year.
But he will fight again, because his dad is saying that he'd like for him not to fight again. You think he will fight again?
Look, and his dad's got every reason to say that. He said he never wanted the Conor Ben fight to happen. The first one, the second one. Do I ever want him to fight in the state that he fought his last fight in, even as a friend, even nothing to do with him? Absolutely not. Do I want him to fight if he feels fit, ready, able, and a natural weight for him? Absolutely, and I believe that's what he's focused on. He's managed to have the time now to have the treatment that he deserved, that he didn't manage to get in between the first fight and the second fight with Conor Ben, and now fighting at his natural weight. I think he's feeling good, and he's feeling confident about where he's going to be, but we'll make sure he's 100%.
And what about this Martin Bakole? He's saying you're trying to ruin his career. Where do things stand with him?
Ruining his career when we've literally changed his life, made him a multi-millionaire, is an interesting one. But again, there's people around him, and it's a funny time because, I think there's promoters, and I've seen it a lot, there's new people in the business being extremely aggressive, and in my honest opinion, motivating fighters to break their contracts, financially. And so that's a difficult one to deal with, because you're not used to that. You're used to people respecting their contracts. You're used to people respecting the investment you've made. You're used to people honoring that. And so, particularly with the hard work that we've put in, and the opportunities that have been turned down recently, that has been very disappointing. But nothing surprises me anymore in this sport, particularly in the really fragmented, sort of aggressive environment that we're currently in, given probably Zuffer's entry into it. And so, we'll see what happens there. But personally, nothing against Martin, and fingers crossed we'll see him back in the ring very soon.
Is there ever any part of you that's like, you know what, this is too much. I don't like this. This is too much fighting, arguing, the back and forths, all this stuff. Does it ever get overwhelming? I know you're the youngest of the bunch, but do you ever have days where you're like, I hate this?
Listen, at the start, 100%. You come into a sport, and there's probably not many businesses like it. And so when I'm really honest with myself, was I surprised at the start? And was I too emotionally involved, too emotionally invested, too too dictated by what was going on 100%. But I think as you mature and you develop in the sport, and obviously you become more comfortable, and you've sort of got over you've had your first major fights, and realistically made your first money and things like that, you can sort of see it for what it is, and it's a game, and it's a pantomime a lot of the time. I think people see it and see the back and forth, and sometimes if you're not in that environment and you're not used to it, it can seem a bit much, but it's a pantomime. There's a lot of sharks, there's a lot of snakes, there's a lot of scumbags. I mean, I'd say 90% of the sport, and that's probably why. Look, I know that coming in, we are a disruptor, and we don't bend down, and we're not necessarily here to be all pally and friendly with everyone, and to be honest, that's the way we like it. So it comes with the territory, and we're in a sport full of sharks, and that's what it is.
Why should fans in the UK watch on Saturday? Give us the hard sell. And when are we going to get these shows back in the United States? You had the deal with Peacock, but to the best of my knowledge, we can't get them in the United States, right?
We are currently on Triller. So Saturday night will be on Triller.
Okay.
But in July, we have an announcement around where our shows will be broadcast in the US.
Okay.
I will definitely give you the first.
Let us know, yes.
But this show is massive because, look, Adam Azim, Steve Claggett, coming off the back of 2 knockout wins, took Teofimo Lopez the fight before that, the complete distance, probably the most experienced and decorated fighter Adam has fought today, and they're coming in extremely confident. If Adam can stop him, it's a huge statement, because no one stops Steve Claggett. This is the fight before the fight. This is the fight that gets him his world title shot. For me, one of the brightest stars in world boxing at 23, in an unbelievable division with huge fights in the horizon. And I think, to be honest, I think a lot of US audiences, after his performance against Kurt Scobie, really started to take note of Adam Azim. And it'll be a special night for him on Saturday night in front of a huge audience, a huge spectacle, a huge shop window. So hopefully be a defining night in the young man's career.
Best of luck to you, Ben. All the best. Looking forward to that one. Looking forward to that announcement. We want more of those shows here in the United States. Always great to catch up with you. Appreciate the time.
Brother, thank you.
There he is, Ben Shalom, the founder of Boxer. Adam Azim is going to join us on the show tomorrow. I know a lot of fans are excited about him, and certainly in the UK, he's got a great following. So check that out on Saturday. Also on Saturday, I'll be in El Paso, Texas. I've never been to El Paso. Frank, have you ever been to El Paso, Texas?
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
I'd like some recommendations. What do they got there? Tex-Mex?
It's been a hot minute. But yes, they have Tex-Mex. You should definitely take advantage of that.
Well, if anyone out there has a good rec or two, I've never been to El Paso. I sort of don't like going to places where I have to. I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to like flights where there's, a layover. I don't like that. What do you call that? An indirect?
Yeah.
But it's a quick jaunt, and it's a pretty good card. Holly Holmes on the card. She'll join us tomorrow as well, going up against Stephanie Hahn, Amanda Serrano on the card as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Another show on ESPN. But Frankie, Al, we have a lot to get to, and we've got only 45 minutes left because I've got a big, I got a big thing. Should I talk about what I have after?
No.
Okay, don't talk about that.
It's your criminal record. Okay,
perfect. All right, we're going to go through. I have so much to get to, so buckle up. I told Pizzi, stay home. We have no use for you. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the nose. Here's Tom Aspinall reacting in real time. He's watching this in real time to his buddy, the great Rico Verhoeven, getting screwed by the referee. Take a look.
Oh, it's the end of the round, is it? Oh, what? He stopped it? No f***ing way. For a world title fight, he stopped it with about 5 or 6 unanswered shots. What?
That's mad when you think about it, because Usyk and Fury had a similar. It was even worse than that.
Mate, what the f***ing hell's that? What a robbery. What a fix that is. That is f***ing outrageous. Mate, 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was, we were at Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois ringside. Mate, that happened probably 10 times. Sent Fabio Wardley out there, big swollen eye on one side, nose squash, big swelling on his forehead, been dropped 5 times in the fight, send him out again for another round. Stopped it about 3 rounds too late. Rico gets stumbled to his knee. They let him up with 10 seconds left. He lands a few unanswered shots. They don't even let him make it to the end of the round. It's a robbery. What the is that? Boxing don't want anyone else to win. Simple as that. They want the boxers with the amateur style coming in, winning their Olympic medal, and then switching over and being unbeaten pros. That's what they want. They don't like other combat sports.
I don't know if that is in fact true, but that was the most interesting part of the clip, in my opinion, what he said on the back end. They don't want anyone else to win. And I don't know if that's something ingrained by the promoters, by the matchmakers, or just by the officials in attendance. He can't possibly be doing this to Oleksandr Usyk. His reaction was fascinating to watch. Obviously, it's his friend, but I feel like a lot of us had that reaction. Oleksandr Usyk took to Twitter and reacted to it all as well. Here's what he had to say. They say it was tense watching my fight with Rico. Guys, I just didn't want you to be bored. Come on. He had another tweet where he asked the public to let him know what they thought of the fight, and it went predictably pretty bad. Francis Ngannou shares the sentiment of one Tom Aspinall. He said this afterwards: outsiders will never win. Trust me, I know. But Rico was the winner tonight, period.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, I think that's what Francis probably said, and that's what a lot of us said. Here's Jake Paul reacting to what transpired. I mean, that's the most insane shit I've ever seen. Rico winning every round, and the moment the ref sees to end it, then he ends it? Are you kidding? I'm the biggest Usyk fan, but bro, you lost that shit. Shout out to Rico for beating his ass every round and getting... Damn. He was tweeting up a storm. Eddie Hearn was pretty dismissive of Rico's chances, but afterwards it seemed as though he made Rico, that is, made a fan out of Eddie. Here's what he had to say. My thoughts, just firstly confirming I'm not a ref or judge, because I'm sure a lot of people came at him. I thought Rico Verhoeven was incredible last night. I gave him hardly any chance in this fight. His concentration, belief, IQ, unbelievable for basically a debutant. Debutant in boxing. It always annoys me when they say debutant. Debutant in boxing. This guy is not a debutant in fighting. And they tend to, like when you say debutant, you're talking about a debutant, in my opinion. This guy has been under the lights. He's fought in one-night tournaments. Come on now. Shout out to Peter Fury for the game plan. Usyk struggled with the rhythm, but stayed with it and somehow found a way. When the greatest upset in boxing history was looming, I had Rico up a couple rounds going into the 11th. Usyk did what champions do, but for me, the stoppage was early. The bell had basically gone, and Rico was defending and knew exactly where he was. I do think Usyk would have gotten a clear stoppage in the 12th or edged out a decision, but us, and how could he have edged out? Maybe with the 10-8? I don't know. I'm bad at math. Rico deserved a chance to let it all unfold. That was fascinating. Well done, man. Two really great guys, and the work ethic, mindset, and desire is inspiring. So there you have it. Jason Statham getting all the love for making this fight, and here's what he had to say about the fight. Rico, you did it, brother. An absolute bombshell. How good does Jason Statham feel in the aftermath of all of this? He's like, yeah, man, you all laughed at me, and look at this fight. A bombshell performance, robbed of the chance to finish a diabolical, what a great word, stoppage at the bell before the final round itself. Respect to Usyk, as he is, without a doubt, one of the greatest fighters of all time. But last night was your night, brother. You killed it, and no one saw it coming. A massive thank you to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for putting on this major spectacle at the pyramids of Egypt. Without you, these fights don't happen. So how about that? Yes, shout out. We told you about Glory saying justice for Rico, which I thought was very nice on their part. And the scene was really great. There's no doubt about that. They had all kinds of photo shoots. They had Terrence Crawford out there. Canelo was out there. Look at these guys here. Sheeraz, AJ, Usyk, Canelo, Mbili, Crawford, Rico.
Y'all see them, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And the setup, in case you missed it, was phenomenal. Look at this setup. It looked great. It looked amazing. Yeah, it's pretty damn cool. That's a once-in-a-lifetime event. I'd love to know what it cost. Puts the White House to shame. No, I'm just kidding. White House is coming together, my friends. White House is coming together. There's all kinds of pictures floating around. They're starting to do the build. There it is. Dana White on the cover. Ooh, look at this. Wow. This is what? What is this? What is this? What are we
I
looking
believe
at?
that's the ellipse, the rendering of what maybe the fan fest will be.
It's called the ellipse because it's shaped like an ellipse.
Isn't an ellipse like the ...
No. Oh, yes.
It's an ellipses.
Ah.
This is an oval shape.
Yeah, it looks cool. Dana White getting all kinds of love for this event. He was on the cover of Time magazine. Now, is this the digital cover or is this the actual physical magazine?
It's a good question. I'd like to pick one up at newsstands.
How Dana White took the UFC from the fringes to the White House. What's up with his mouth in this picture?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, you're right. Speaking of newsstands, did you guys happen to pick up the New York Post this morning?
I did. I'm going to need that back after the show.
Yeah. Did you happen to get two by any
chance?
that
was the last one left.
Fold it up. Huh?
No, well, he folded it first. Just going to put this right here. There's a lot going on.
That's fucking illegal.
Just going to put that right there. There's nothing like a newspaper, right? It's something else. Dana also in Rolling Stone. Is Dana getting more attention for this than any fighter on the card?
Did you just read Ben Folk's tweet?
Oh, really? No, I didn't.
I didn't see his.
Ben Folks said, well, it's on X, it's not on Blue Sky. For anyone looking for Ben Folks' post, he said that it seems that Dana's getting more promotion and hype than Ilya Topuria, Alex Pereira, Shogun.
Wait, when did he tweet that?
Maybe an hour ago.
Oh, okay. Well, look at this. Oh, it says 250 on there.
Yeah, it's the 250 belt, but it's in black and white. It's tough.
Listen, if I was Felicia Spencer and Amanda Nunes, I'd be pretty pissed about this right now. Like, I headlined UFC 250, all right? Stop calling this 250.
Yeah, let's have Felicia Spencer try and call Dana White.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, well, that she is.
Hello, Dana. This is Felicia. I headlined UFC 250 at the Apex.
Shut the fuck up and watch the fights.
Way back in 2020. I'm not sure if you remember me. Guys, we spoke about the Knicks. We do have to get this out of the way. I mean, I was not a believer, I'll be the first to admit, in the Danhausen curse, uncurse. But this MFer right here, he's done it. I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe he has done something. He has uncursed the Knicks. That has been documented. He cursed the Cavs. He's got his own Knicks uncursed collab. This guy doesn't miss. He's unbelievable. He uncursed Tottenham as well. We're giving him credit for that one. Here's Nathan Fraser saying that he had to pay a lot of human money just to make this happen. Congratulations. And yesterday, I told him thank you and please keep going. And he sent me this. It's unbelievable. How did this happen? Rick, do you fault Danhausen in any way, shape, or form?
No, not at all. I would never dare question Danhausen because I do not want to be cursed.
Yes. I believe in that stuff. I tried to explain it to my kids. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, no.
Pro wrestling you tried to explain?
I tried to explain this guy and how he may be responsible for the greatest moment in our lives.
I'm sure that went well with them.
He better be on that damn float if they win. I tell you that much. He better be on that float. Now, Jalen Brunson was asked about this, and he's a big wrestling guy, and he sort of no-sold it, as they say in the business. Here's what he had to say.
Jalen, you guys are playing great team basketball right now on a 9-game win streak, but I am a little bit curious. You are a bit of a wrestling fan. There is someone else that's kind of trying to take some credit for this at the moment. I am curious about your thoughts about this entire Danhausen situation.
Honestly, I don't know too much about it. I've been off of social media, so I'll leave it at that.
Cap or no cap there, as my toys fall in the middle of that clip.
Cap. Mega cap. He's such a WWE fan. There's no way.
He knows about it. Even if he's not on social media, so one of his friends told him
Him
about
and Danhausen are texting about it, guaranteed.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Man. He 100% knows. And do you believe it when these guys say they're off social media?
No.
I don't believe it either.
I believe they're not
That's
posting,
bullshit.
but I don't
Did he have to no-sell it?
Right.
Yes. It's cooler that he no-sold it.
You're looking up if he's posted anything?
Yeah, hasn't he been posting all throughout?
I don't know if he has.
You know who was posting?
maybe it's like you don't want to acknowledge the thing because then it curses the curse, you know. He's very
on May
superstitious.
12th, posted on May 15th.
I mean, it's possible that he has someone posting for him.
Dennis Schroeder was on social media all series. It was
what
great.
was up with
He just
that?
kept posting the
0-1, 0-2.
The series score is great.
What was up with that? He's got to go.
Cavs are.
They've had a
great
tough
bunch.
stretch. Did you see his record in conference finals?
Dennis Schroeder?
0 for 12.
I'm sure it's shit. Yeah, I mean, he played for the Hawks.
No, he's like not won a game.
Yeah, he's played for some bad teams.
That's pretty.
He's Dennis Schroeder.
And shout out to Dennis Schroeder, man.
I kind of
Hawks
like
legend.
Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, I kind of.
Hawks legend. 0-4 with the Hawks in the conference finals.
We did tell you about the PFL event. Patrick Habirora, superstar. He's going to be joining us tomorrow. But could we talk about the Joe Schilling fight? What the hell happened in this Joe Schilling fight? So Joe Schilling is fighting. He's back in MMA. We spoke about this. We sort of stumbled upon this. And here he is fighting. And there's a headbutt. And there's Mike Beltran. He's pissed off. I mean, it was a headbutt. And then they restart the fight. And he's like, nah, man. F you. Why am I doing this? I'm out. He just said he's out. Nah, man, I'm out. So I guess he didn't like the fact that that Beltran restarted it in the same spot. He wanted them.
Not in the same spot. He gave him an overhook. I have to see the clip again. He gave him an overhook or an underhook or some kind of advancement in the position that he's just like, this was not where this was. So I understand his frustration.
Can't they look at replay for that just to get it right? I mean, they look at it for other things.
I'm sure they can, but I think Joe was just done with this fight at that point.
I've never seen that before, to be honest. He's like, nah, man.
The dude just headbutted me, and then it's like we're
done
doing
with
this
the fight
whole
at
shit.
this point. Aren't they only like 37 seconds in?
He was done with the shenanigans.
Yeah, it's just over. I don't blame him. Shout out Joe.
I mean, it is kind of crazy to do that, no?
What, to just walk out?
Yes. But I guess
no more business to be done.
All right. There was all kinds of chaos at the PFL event. They had a whole melee at the weigh-ins. Poor Dan Hardy got in the mix. Look at Dan in the mix here. Dude's ripped right here. Sort of looks like Armin.
We appreciate the sound effects.
Look at this right here. Oh, a kick. Oh. Dan checks the glasses. All okay. Splits. Oh. That actually sounded like the drop, Frank.
There's so many sound effects happening right now.
Oh. Oh. They sound the same. Here it is from him. What is he wearing? Meta glasses?
Yeah.
Woo. It doesn't quite tell the story the same way.
Someone shoot.
Yeah, what happened there?
Here we go. Now we get into it.
Oh, this is nuts. Well, there you have it. Insanity in Belgium. Look at that shot right there. Beautiful form. Look at the dude who's got his head
Security
tattooed
guy?
over there.
Shout
Yeah.
out.
Shout out to the social media guy, unfazed in the back over there.
Yeah, almost like too unbothered.
Yeah,
for
he's just
being
like
Another
honest.
day in the office.
Let me just zoom in here real quick to get a good shot.
It actually does look like he's actively hitting a zoom in.
Yeah. Let me get that angle. The lighting isn't too great. Guys, Conor McGregor is coming back on July 11th, and he has done an interview for, I guess, his new, what is it? His new energy drink? Mac Energy? Before we get to that, he did post this on social media. Thank you for all the love, support, and encouragement over the last few days, people. I'm feeling very energized, entering intense training camp because of it. I'm very grateful for the team I have around me, my coaches and training partners. We are all fully tuned in for the challenge at hand, and it is a glorious time in our gym. Swipe to see an incredible snapshot of sparring, longtime training partner. I'm better than ever. I relish the opportunity to once again show my mastery in martial arts to the world. Lord Jesus, in your name, please to inspire the next generation to come. Amen. And so he did an interview. He did an interview with the guy who took out Osama bin Laden, right?
Who says he did, yeah.
Yeah, what's his name, this guy? He gave him the glove. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
He says did.
Why? Is there a conspiracy
SEAL
about
Team
that?
6?
It's
these are not
disputed?
things where it's just like, yeah, there was the guy, doesn't.
Anyway, he did an interview with him, and he gave him the glove.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that?
I saw it.
I had no idea this was SEAL Team 6 guy.
This is the dude.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that took out Osama.
Yes, and he said,
associate with them anymore.
he says, I have 2 gloves, left hand, right hand. I'm keeping the right. You're getting the left. Anyway, here's what Conor McGregor had to say to this gentleman
Robert
about
Neal?
Yes. About coming back, the Holloway fight, etc.
The big fight is coming. Let's cheers to that. The Mac is back, baby. Let's go. It's like a musical. Music to my ears it is. Rob, I'm out so long, 5 years. My body's fresh, my mind is sharp. I'm ready to come back. I've got a great opponent. I've got a great deal off the UFC. I'm very, very happy. They honored me, finally, I can say. So, July 11th. And the opponent is a man that I have beaten before in Max Holloway. So, he is an established fighter, an accomplished fighter, former UFC world champion, multiple time. So, this is a quality opponent. Indeed. And our last bout was martial arts mastery by yours truly. So I plan on doing it again. I plan on showing my growth, and my improvements in there. So I'm very, very excited for it. Preparation is going very well. We're living, breathing, and sleeping in the gym. Literally. Here we are. I live in the gym. I have a base here, and I have a base in my coach John's gym, and I go between them both. So training's going very, very well.
He's wearing the glove in the interview over there, just for the record. This is after he was gifted the glove. Most interesting to me is he says, they finally showed me the respect that I deserve. So it seems like he's happy. As I've said, 2 fights left. And this is a big one. Got to look good in this one, get the last one, and then see where everything lies. Now, here's Max Holloway saying, I think he said he's known about this for quite some time. I mean, we've been talking about it for quite some time. Max wasn't the issue, obviously. They had to get Conor signed, sealed, and delivered, figure out the pay-per-view points and all that. Here's Max commenting on the fight.
First stream since the announcement. You guys know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to keep that fight under wraps? For how long we did? We knew that fight for a minute, bruh. Glad it's coming through, Well, we see, though. We see how it goes July 11th. You think his mic skills is going to be the same? Of course his mic's... Why wouldn't his mic skills be the same? Why wouldn't it be, boys? Oh yeah, I'm excited, brother. I get to eat during all of camp. I get to eat what I want to eat, boys. Imagine I missed weight at 170. Holy shit. The fuck was I doing? What the hell am I doing, Oh. Every fight is a hard fight, bro. Conor's still dangerous, bro. You'd be dumb as hell to think he's not.
Now, as you may recall, last weekend, 2 weekends ago, Dana White announced the news of Conor's return, not with a promo, not with an interview, not with any cool graphic. It was on an IG Live, and it was at the exact same time that Francis Ngannou was walking out. Well, the great Fred Beck of Fred Loves Fighting asked Dana White at the Apex, he was there for the Brand Risks show, about the timing, and here's what Dana White had to say.
What's the timing for that announcement? A coincidence with anything going on?
Not a coincidence. I had a fucking fight here that night. Anybody who thinks that I gave a shit what was going on anywhere else is out of their fucking minds.
Just had a check, Dan. Just had a check. Awesome.
We announced it as soon as we got it done, and we were in the middle of our event. Yeah. Give a fuck what those guys are doing. You kidding me?
We haven't seen that kind of fire from him, and usually that would suggest that someone is a little bit defensive. Maybe he doesn't like the insinuation, and that's totally fine. I would counter and say, when's the last time he's made an announcement of that stature via IG Live in the middle of one of their events? They're literally on TV. A network that is paying them $1 billion is literally having an event. And they didn't announce it there. He announced it on IG Live. Now, as I've said in the past, they have a deal with Meta. I can guarantee you that deal isn't as big as the Paramount deal. And so if I'm Paramount, I'm like, if in fact this did happen right then and there, why didn't you just go and tell one of the broadcasters to do it, coming out of a commercial break or before a fight? To be clear, I don't believe him for a second. You're telling me that it just so happened to be just as Francis Ngannou was walking out, and it just so happened to be while there was another show going on? You're telling me if there wasn't an MVP show on Netflix and Francis Ngannou wasn't fighting, you're announcing it in that moment on IG Live during one of your cards? There's just no way. Like, is anyone dumb enough to believe that? Do you guys believe that in the back?
Nope, not even a little bit.
I don't even know.
Doesn't make any sense.
Why not just, why pretend like that's not a thing?
I've long wondered why Dana White blatantly lies on some of these things that just don't require it.
Just be like, yeah, I wanted to F with them.
Yeah, I was fucking with him.
I guess that's the acknowledgement that he doesn't want to make, even though the real.
But it does the opposite.
Doing it. Yeah.
It's like the cover up is worse than the crime. Like why? Why go to these links to lie about it? Just be like, yeah, what'd you think of that? That if Eddie Hearn was standing there, what do you think his reaction would be if asked that question? He'd be like, I was messing with him. It's bands. It's good fun. Don't you love it? Like, it's just weird. I don't even understand what the motivation is because it's so transparent.
Yeah, bizarre. Truly bizarre. I said it, I was a little fired up at the beginning of the show. I want to make something clear about the brand risk thing. I have no beef because I'm sure it's going to get clipped off and all this stuff. I have no beef with Aiden whatsoever. I think what he's built for himself is incredible. It's nothing short of amazing. And I've said this a million times about the streamers. My cup of tea? No, not necessarily. Hate on them? No. Do your thing. That's where, kids are gravitating towards. There's clearly money to be made. There's clearly like a game plan there. There's clearly a blueprint, I should say. It all works. And the fact that he's doing this, God bless. Good for him. I've seen videos of him talking about hey, there was once a time where, I had nothing or no one's watching me, and I guarantee you, it takes a lot of work to make it to that point, to get to that point, to get people to watch you, to get people to care about you. So no hate whatsoever. It was more about the... And people put on these crazy influencer shows like, God bless, get paid. What? It was more the hypocrisy of a week prior hearing Mark Shapiro say that the MVP card on Netflix set the sport back, and now the UFC is essentially backing this brand of fighting. What's more detrimental to the sport of MMA? Ronda Rousey submitting Gina Carano via armbar in 17 seconds like she did while in the UFC, or that? Dana White's there, Hunter Campbell's there, and they're laughing about this. It's happening at the Apex, and it's their sport that's on display. And so it was the hypocrisy of it happening 7 days later. Here's Hunter Campbell doing an interview, a rare interview afterwards, saying why he likes brand risk and why he doesn't like the other forms of influencer fighting.
I'm here with Hunter Campbell. Hunter, you lent the UFC Apex to Aiden and brand risk. How was the whole experience?
It was incredible. I'm proud of Bob Bennery, man. I was bugging him about showing up. I can't believe he actually made the walk. It takes, listen, man, it's not as easy to make that walk as people think it is. The fact that he did it and fought a pro athlete, I'm stunned. So I'm proud of Bob.
Are you a fan of this whole world of the crossover influencer boxing, athlete boxing?
I said this last time when we did the other, stream with Aiden. I like when it's authentic. This isn't trying to pretend it's something that it's not, right? So it's not people who are influencers who are trying to pretend they're pro athletes or pro fighters or whatever. It's exactly what it is, and it's a great experience, and it's fun, man.
The energy in here was incredible.
So fun. I like the little people fight, man. The little people fight, those are real guys.
Real guys.
Real guys. That was a real fight.
A lot of judo in there.
Incredible. I'm telling you, I had a great time. It was fun.
Jeremy Smith is 6-0 on brand risk. He's going to come back.
You got to keep him back, man.
Thank you.
Did you guys watch?
No, I saw the clips.
Yeah, I saw the highlights.
What do you think of it, GC?
It is what it is. I mean, we talked about it on Thursday going into the weekend. It's a circus. It's a clown show. You have Ray J up there and going against Super Hot Fire. What do you think you're getting into? It is what it is. Also, Ray J getting knocked out and then talking to Aiden and being yo, we took a big L tonight. What the fuck was that? Some people saying it might have been fixed. I don't know. But
yeah. He insinuated that there was an agreement heading into the fight.
He got knocked out bad.
But I want to make something very, very clear. I'm not, I couldn't care less about brand risk. God bless, there's a million crazy shows out there. But it's this. It's very clearly veiled shots at other people. And even though they may not be paying or backing it or anything like that, you are attaching yourself to it. You are
Hunter
endorsing.
Campbell just did an interview.
You're
talking about.
You're
He was also
endorsing
on
it.
the broadcast.
Yeah, you're endorsing it while saying like this. I like this because it's authentic. Like what? What are you talking about? And then a week prior, the president of your company is saying, of TKO, the parent company is saying that set the sport back. Like, come on.
The one I don't believe is that one though. I don't believe that they believe it set the sport back. I believe more that they are willing to do business and happy to do business.
I don't
with brand
believe what
risk.
Hunter said either. I think
Wait,
of course.
What did he say?
That it was authentic, that he loves it, that it's genuine.
Oh, that like he's like into it. Yeah, maybe not.
Here's the thing. We've heard these guys say we don't do this type of thing. We don't do freak shows. And again, I know it wasn't a UFC show, but they're endorsing it. So clearly you have an interest in it. Clearly you're not against it because you let it come to your show, to your headquarters, and you were on the broadcast. When do we see Dana and Hunter do that sort of thing? I think they think it's great. It's good to be with the young kids. Oh, Aiden's cool. He does, like, they think it's good for the brand, so to speak.
Bob Menery's back, man. What's
what's
wrong
who
with
is
you?
Bob Menery?
He's the voiceover sports guy. He does the like goofy sports.
He was in Roadhouse.
This brand risk.
Yeah.
The one with Connor?
Yeah.
He was? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Who was he?
He was like a side character.
He's not like a full send guy?
He was.
I think at one point.
He was, and then
now
they
we're
had a
getting
split. That's when Dana White got into the drama, and that's why he doesn't like him. This feels like the early days of Misfits. That's what this feels like. And I thought we left this all behind.
This is worse, man.
Sure, but it's like the porn stars fight. Like, this is what Misfits used to do.
But like no one was even in shape. Like at least most of those guys on the Misfits card, like they come ripped, but you know that they're on juice and stuff.
No, to me, this was more like Barstool puts on Rough and Rowdy.
That's exactly what it was. And again, I have no issues with it. People seem to like it. Their characters. Yeah,
but Rough and Rowdy is
these guys endorsing it while shitting on others is the ultimate hypocrite move, is it not?
It is. It 100% is.
Yeah, but
I just don't think they're
guys
genuine.
that says it's a coincidence that they released the news of their
they're
biggest
just
fighter
lying.
returning when Francis Ngannou is making his
You're right.
walk out.
You're right.
Just lie.
You're right. You're right.
Strickland was there too.
Okay, so what do you? Okay, so I'd like to hear you guys first. Strickland's there. He's on the broadcast.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I don't know if he left when it was over. He's on there for a good amount of time. He's saying all kinds of things, right? And then he does the thing where he's talking into the phone and says, I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, that's the lowest of the low, I shouldn't have done that, da-da-da-da-da. What do you make of that, Rick, when you see that?
There's something genuine in there, right? There is something of him that was probably embarrassed to be there and he had somehow gotten convinced, maybe Nina or somebody else, or even, the UFC or somebody else associated with it had convinced him to kind of do it. And then he was doing it and at some point was kind of like, what am I doing? But it's just like, I don't know that this is any more embarrassing than anything else. Like, it's just, quite frankly, I feel like he feels at home there. I don't know if I'm like Sean Strickland feels out of place at a brand risk event, if I'm being honest. It feels very much kind of where I'd find him.
I just don't understand what he thought he was getting into.
Yeah.
Did he think it was going to be like the highest level of fighting?
Well, he said, like, I like you, Aiden Ross. And
he was there for quite some time.
Well, he says I like you, Aiden Ross, but that was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done, and I feel like less of a man because of it.
You think that's true? That's the most embarrassing thing he's ever done.
This is what he said.
my point.
Yeah, no, I know, but like that in its own right. To me, it feels like a microcosm of what I said a couple of weeks ago. Do something outlandish. There's consequences, whatever, maybe some blowback. You see the blowback or not. And then you quickly say, nah, that wasn't me. I wasn't really into that. I'd like to apologize. And then try to, absolve yourself from any sort. And then so people then come out and be like, oh, man, good for you, man. Well done. That shows growth. That shows like maturity. No, you knew exactly what that was going into it. You knew exactly what it was during it. And then you try to like wash your hands of it. And then you're sort of playing both sides. People love you when you're on it. They laugh, they chuckle. Hey man, he's so much fun. He makes these crazy statements. And then you try to wash your hands of it in the aftermath. It doesn't work that way. You can't really do that. To me, it felt like deja vu of 2 weeks ago. And of course, me saying this is going to get all his fans so butthurt. Like, oh my God, how dare you? But like, man, I saw you're on it. All right, yeah, this seems like the type of thing that Sean Strickland would do. It seems like it. By the way, Armin was there, Marab was there, Rampage was there. That's no indictment on him per se. But then he's the only one in the aftermath who's like, nah, that was not for me. I want nothing to do with it. How many more times are we going to hear him say that he wants nothing to do with the streamers and all this stuff, and then continue to do stuff with the streamers? Or how about the fact that he says, I want nothing to do with the White House card, and then immediately after winning says, I want to go to the White House card? Do you understand what I'm saying? He's playing you on both sides every time. And so you just pick and choose what you're going to back, what you're going to be okay with, and what you're not going to be okay with, and then you'll ignore the other part. And he knows this, and it's working perfectly. Every single step, he'll say one thing, and then he'll say the opposite thing. And it works perfectly. I guess it's no different than Dana and them. You guys know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
There's a huge
bait and
contradiction.
switch.
Yeah, there's
Classic.
a contradiction, for sure.
Rampage saw Dana. It was a very awkward catch-up. I equated it to, two people who used to be in a relationship being like, yeah, cool, good to see you doing some good stuff, but very much not fans of each other. Here's the interaction.
How you doing?
Man, how you doing?
Good. Everything good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I get to be a big kid.
You always have the personality for that shit.
Yeah.
Good for you.
All right. Good for you.
Yeah, man, I love it. It's great. It's great. Hamzah Sheeraz called out Sean Strickland. So I guess they're back to hating each other now? I don't know. I'm waiting. Tell me when you're ready, Sean Strickland. Next time somebody has to be dead. Are people going to fall for this again? Do you remember when Frank Mir said that to Brock Lesnar? Anyway, here's Nasruddin Imavov weighing in. No happy endings. Nowhere left to run. What does he mean by that, the happy endings? Anyone know?
Who's to check?
Yeah, who is to check?
Never heard that phrase before, so I'm not sure.
What about Benoit Saint-Denis? He was celebrated at a French soccer game. Did you guys see this? Benoit Saint-Denis out there. Yeah, look at him. About to fight Paddy Pimblett. Loving life. BSD. Looks like one of them soccer players, right? Yeah, look at that. Right in the center of the pitch. Tremendous. There is a fight this weekend, by the way. It's Song Yadong against Davison Figueiredo, and it's going down in Macau. They did have a face-off. Here they are. Sort of flying under the radar, this one. Important fight at 135. There's a young fighter named Shi Ming who is fighting on a Road to UFC event, and she had probably the greatest fight announcement of all time. Take a look.
Hello, got a fight announcement. I will be fighting at the end of this month in Macau. Super excited. This time, I have questionable honor of breaking the world record for the most Road to UFC fights. Awkward. I don't know what's going on with UFC, but it's like Groundhog Day all over again. Anyway, I heard my opponent is from India, so I'm just imagining Danga versus Chinese Kung Fu movies. It's gonna be funny. You know, Amir Han versus Jackie Chan. Let's go.
That was incredible. She's my new favorite fighter. That was amazing. I like when she said she had the awkward, what did she say? She had the awkward distinction or something like that from being on the most Road to UFC cards.
Y'all see them, though.
Yeah, hell yeah. Want to give a big shout out to Themba Gorimbo, who announced his retirement from the sport, had a lengthy statement on social media. He's officially retiring from MMA. I did reach out to him and ask him about that, and he just said he felt like it was time. He'd like to do some other things. He posted a big thank you to everyone involved, especially the UFC, and also to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who certainly did a lot for him and helped put him on the map. So here he is with DJ. There's the statement. There's no way I can read all of that just because I don't have my glasses on, but trust me, it is worth seeing, and he's one of the good guys, and we do wish him the best, proudly representing his home country of Zimbabwe. Mentioned Darren Till, Influencer Boxing. He's back also this weekend, so we've got all kinds of fun this weekend. Check out the abs on old Darren Till.
Keep my fucking name out your mouth.
Nah, Darren, we've never seen anything like this.
We don't care.
Yeah, no commentary. needed. That was incredible. Okay, let's go to some super chats, Frankie. I'm going to get to the other stuff tomorrow, but we do have a hard out today due to personal reasons. So I want to get the super chats in, and maybe I'll squeeze in a couple of news and notes on the back end. Here's Sammy J6Z3S who says, Ariel, your reasons for not acknowledging my super chat, giving you praise when Frank read it out when you guys were in LA. It's never about the money, but I did pay 100 SEK. Wait a second.
Let me interject on this one.
Sammy's our guy.
Yeah, Sammy is our guy, and I thought we read and responded appropriately. You kind of made a bit out of it because he was just basically saying, ignore all the haters, keep doing what you guys are doing.
Damn. That's my bad.
Sammy, we thought we acknowledged it. We kind of made a joke, but not at the expense of your thing. We apologize, but keep
Hell yeah,
sending
we
in
love
the
Sammy.
chats.
I am sorry.
Sammy's the man. We love Sammy.
Yeah, we love Sammy. I'm really sorry. Peace and love, peace and love. I'd love to, I don't know. Can we give him a hug or something? I don't know.
Here we go. Here's a big hug.
JWA2387, Knicks could probably beat the Mets in baseball right now. I don't know anything about that. Let's just focus on the next four. Here's Hanashi MMA who says, Ricky, Boys in the Hood. Well, I know the reference, but why on today's program? Because
For me?
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, we still love you, and we're waiting for you.
Was that in question? I didn't know that was up for...
No, but we're waiting for you. Come on, have some fun with us.
Not a fan.
2 more weeks.
Not my team.
Buck Dutter 96. Why do you always say pot of Benz to the Brazilians? What the F is a pot of Benz? Is this short for Benjamins? So like a pot of money? Have I ever said pot of Benz before? I don't recall ever saying
He's saying parabens.
Pot of Benz.
He's saying parabens. It's an
Yes.
R.
No, he's saying pot of Benz.
Pot of Benz.
As you say to all the Brazilians, pot of
He
Benz.
thinks you're saying parabens. What is Buck
Pot of
Dutter?
Benz, pot of boom.
Buck Nutter 96.
Parabens means congratulations,
Buck
bro.
Dutter.
Dutter.
Dutter. Duck butter.
What else, Frankie? What else? Did any of y'all see the clip of UFC champ Sean Strickland say, the N-word on commentary during that influencer event at the Apex Repercussions? No, he didn't mean it, man. It just kind of slipped out.
He echoed what a fighter said in the in the ring.
What does that mean? He echoed.
The guy said it, and he literally repeated what he said verbatim. He was like laughing at what he was saying.
The guy said it and repeated what he heard verbatim.
Okay, does that make it okay?
I think Frank was doing a
Frank,
bit
man,
where he
shut the
repeated
fuck
Connor.
Frank, man, shut the fuck up.
It doesn't make it
Frank, man,
okay.
shut the fuck up.
He's just...
But also, I guess that is the environment. That's what you expect, right?
man.
Brand risk is supposed to be this
I'm not
kind
offended.
of thing.
To be clear, I'm not offended by any of this. Other people may be offended by any of it. I just think the thing of like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to get all crazy. And then 2 seconds later be like, nah, I didn't really mean that is...
But he unequivocally shouldn't have said it. There's no reason to say it.
Absolutely. I didn't see it. I saw people tweeting about it, but didn't care enough to click on it. What will it take for an MMA fighter to beat a boxer? Everything is against them. Rico is the people's champ. Yeah, and he's a kickboxer. Is kickboxing the best base? Izzy, Alex, Doumbé, whom else? Mr. Rico. Looks like Lesnar. This is from Jake from the Windy City. You know what? Jake from the Windy City, talk about both sides. I've seen Jake on other channels talking smack, guys. You know I always give Jake props?
What did he say?
Was very surprised to see Jake. Mr. Benedict Arnold himself. Looks like Lesnar pulled a mark and now out of nowhere, a month after Mania, made that whole leaving gloves in the ring pointless. Yeah, that was whack. He's back. And they're doing the Oba rematch this weekend and then probably again in the summer. Ariel single-handedly brought AEW to the 514 in July. Yeah, guys, AEW coming to Montreal in July.
Oh, big. You going to go?
I didn't get time. We need to talk about your experience tomorrow. Tomorrow might be supersized. I just want to let you know because we didn't do Monday and we have so much that we missed on. But we'll get to your experience tomorrow. How far away from a title shot is Manziel? Oh, brand risk over MVP is tremendous. What else, Frankie? What else? Uncrown needs to rent the Apex for a fun show. What do you think they charge us for that?
I don't think they'd let us in.
No.
I mean, me and Connor, yeah, we're good. But I don't know if you're getting in there.
And finally, this is tremendous. From Raging Croissant 3947 from New York Rick to New York Nick. We are the New York Knicks.
No.
We are the New York Knicks. Say, go New York, go New York, go. Go New York, go New York, go.
Oh, but Steph can't do it, huh? Just you.
I'm surprised you're not cheering for the Knicks to win.
That's by the way, that's certified hater right there. Your team's out. You got to root for ours.
It's the city we live in. It's fun.
Bro,
it's fun.
It's whack. Anyway, plenty more Knicks talk to come. For now, though, we are done. Tomorrow on the program, guys, Patrick Habirora, Holly Holm, Adam Azim, and Colby Covington in what I do believe is his first interview since leaving the UFC. He's going to be on that May 30th card this weekend, RAF show. I believe RAF 9, Gable Steveson making his debut. He's going up against Chris Weidman. There's an Armin Sarukian match on there as well. There's a lot. There's a lot happening this weekend, guys. There's the UFC. There's the boxer card. There's the MVP card. There's this card that I just mentioned, the RAF card. There's a lot happening, my friends. There's a lot happening. And so we will get to more news and notes tomorrow. Not the best timing to have a shorter show. And yes, in our world, a 3.5-hour show is a shorter show. But it is imperative that I be off at 4:30. It's actually 4:29 and 51 seconds. What do I do about that, by the way?
It's tough.
Yeah, that is tough. And so them's the breaks. That's how it goes, guys. That's how it goes in the business. But I'll get to everything tomorrow, and we'll have more time. And also on the noses tomorrow. So go to arielhelwani.substack.com to leave your questions and comments regarding On the Nose. Thank you very much to Hamzah Sheeraz. Thank you very much to Rico Verhoeven. Thank you very much to Peter Fury. Thank you very much to Ben Shalom. Thank you very much, James Dolan, greatest owner in sports. Thank you very much, Leon Rose. Thank you, Jalen Brunson, Mikhail Bridges, Mike Brown, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart. Thanks to you. Thanks to that. Back tomorrow, same time. Peace. I'm out of here.